welcome to try to survive. Welcome to the wasteland, welcome to the new paradigm. Not every day you see an empire shift the bed and dark. What a time to be half alive. Land of the free, home of the slave. This land was made for you and me. Let's take it to the grave. Let's take it to the grave. We're accelerating and we're running out of need I remind you that you're still half alive. In the wasteland there's no guarantee. No. What a time to be half alive. Right on time, right on time. Yeah. What a time to be half alive. Right on time to be on the wrong side of genocide. Of genocide. Of genocide. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to the grifter paradise. This land is your land, rich man. Poor motherfuckers gonna kill each other just to survive. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to the new paradigm. Not every day you see an empire shift the bed and dark. You believe we let it all go to the what a time to be half alive. Half alive.
We're going to need a vision for the future where humanity succeeds as a species. That is not going to come from a delusion of national purity.
Stagnate maturity blockers. In a world obsessed with emotional development, self-reflection and not being exhausting, stagnate maturity blockers let you pause your psychological growth at a stage that suits you. Becoming a man shouldn't have to mean moving out of your parents' basement, not getting angry about Star Wars casting a black actor. These are societal constructs that don't have to apply to you. Stagnate maturity blockers actively suppress empathy, self-awareness, and the phrase "I don't know." Stagnate maturity blockers are entirely natural. We resource pure red for every pill, and our lead flakes are scraped directly from pre-regulation automobile exhaust pipes. Stagnate maturity blockers, because growing up is for woke people. Maturity blockers not approved by science, philosophy, or anyone who knows you. Side effects include permanent outrage, alienating loved ones, starting podcasts, and confusing age with wisdom.
Get off my dick. Get off my dick. Get off my dick right now. Get off my dick. Get off my dick.
Get off my dick.
Get off my dick.
Get off my dick.
Get off my dick right now.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Dane. You might not have seen me in a while. This is what I look like. I still look like this. It's basically the same. Except I've got this cool shirt now. So that's new. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Morgan.
Yo, hey, how's it going?
What's
I
up?
also look the same. Also, is that a new hat?
What's that?
Is that a new hat?
No, I've had this since like about around the time that the trailer dropped for Superman.
Oh, okay.
I've literally
cool
worn it
hat.
in like probably almost every stream since then.
But you're invisible during the streams. You're in stealth mode.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, no, but I mean, like on video, I've worn this like a lot of times.
Oh, I just haven't noticed.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, you're noticing now because you're like, oh, look, there he is. He exists physically in 3D world.
I was worried that you had been replaced with an AI.
Yeah, no, not yet. Well, you know, maybe if I get lucky, we'll see. What's up, Big Fieldy? What's up, Sketchy Dad?
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Got some of the usual suspects here in
I'm
chat.
sure it's probably New Year for some of you guys. Definitely Fieldy, you're in Australia, right? So yeah, Happy New Year.
Oh, happy New Year from the past. Yeah, we're still talking 2025. Tell me it's better there. Please tell me it's better there. Oh God, please tell me it's.
I mean, look, 2026. It's got to be better than 2016, right? Oh God, that's how much time has passed. Jesus Christ. It feels
that guy's.
weird.
Yeah,
It's
doesn't
weird.
feel good.
All right, let's move on so we can get off of that weird reality trip.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't prepared to think about that. This guy, speaking of AI, this guy, he's got it figured out. Let me show this here.
Hey everybody, breaking news. There are so many AI videos on social media these days. There's AI videos are kicking up in the high gear these days. Here's me moving my fingers. That's me moving my fingers. All 5 fingers. Videos of me is not AI at all. When I take videos of myself, it's not AI. There's so many AI videos on social media these days, and AI videos are kicking up higher and higher and higher and higher and higher non-stop. There are so many AI videos in these days, but they're getting even more AI videos in these days. They had to be.
Frankie McDonald is not AI. None of his videos are AI. Just anybody was wondering that. If anybody wanted to accuse him of that, you saw he did the hand thing.
He did he has hands. Hands confirmed.
I mean, of course, I kind of think it's a mistake to teach AI about the 5-hand verification process, or 5-finger verification process. But you know,
I guess like
Frankie McDonald does what he wants to.
Because it's the wiggling and AI doesn't understand what movement is all the time. Like it's just gonna like. You know, they're gonna move out of the back of your hand or your palm or whatever. Like
he seemed to be malfunctioning. No, you must not be too familiar with Frankie McDonald. That was Frankie McDonald working just a-okay. Like that's how he rolls. And then so we're gonna talk about some stuff. You know, we're gonna hang out, watch some fun stuff, maybe some not fun stuff. Depends on what you guys feel like. I've got both, a little bit of both. And then I definitely want to talk about the Somalian scam. Right, this big Somalian scam.
it is a scam, just not in the way.
Well, I haven't looked too deep into it. I've seen a little bit of content from a couple of different people, and what I glean without getting much more out of it than a couple of minutes at a time is that something unethical and possibly illegal technically did happen, but it was not like necessarily just this evil scheme that happened, and it was more just like benefits of some system or something like that, and then that was blown way out of proportion by some fucking YouTuber. We're gonna look at that, and then but apparently the people that there's some of the people that were supposedly involved with this fraud scheme or whatever actually reported themselves. Is that right?
That does seem to be.
You know, as evil fraudsters often do, they turn themselves in.
Yeah, normally not what I expect from that crowd.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, man. And
I think I know what's going on because I've seen videos where there's people like talking about how Somalians they're incestuous and they have an IQ of 67. So I think I know what maybe is kind of underpinning some of this stuff.
Racism.
What?
God, it's always racism.
Yeah, definitely some racism going on there. I mean, look, this reminds me a lot of the what is it? Haitians were eating pets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, bizarre. But I do have a couple of videos we could look at. I actually have a couple from CNN. Apparently, they did something decent, maybe. And
What?
there's this YouTuber, all right, named fucking whatever his stupid ass name is.
Whatever his
He's a
stupid
stupid
ass.
piece of shit, and he apparently fucking made a video that blew up, and that's what they're running with. And you know why they're running with this. You know, like they've been trying and hoping for anything. This was the desperation. You can smell the desperation on this. They're like,
Yeah.
let's just talk about anything except Epstein.
Anything but Epstein. They really, I don't know why they don't want to talk about Epstein, because they were, I mean, like this time last year, they were like that shit was coming out in a month, right? It was like
they couldn't
3 weeks until Epstein files dropped. This literally a year ago.
Wow.
How the turns have tabled.
How the turntables have turned. Yeah. I mean, a year ago, I think I was feeling pretty blue. I was feeling not looking forward to the future very much, and still kind of not. But you know, there's tinges of possible hope to have. If nothing else, we might see the terrible people go down before everything else goes down too.
I am still blue, still depressed, but taking a little solace in the ongoing bite each other's dicks off contest going on the right.
Yeah. Well,
and
you know,
may they bite hard and long.
I think I have a video here that kind of shows you know, MAGA and what they're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
It hurts the worst when you do it to yourself, you know?
It does.
Harrison James, happy New Year, man. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, we do still have each other. We do. And if you look, and here's the thing about that.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
New drop. Define irony, Bob says. Let me get the comments up here so I can actually put them on screen. Define irony. Screwing millions of kids today to avoid talking about Epstein. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So I guess I won't bury the lead on this one, and I will go ahead and thank Bob for the stream title, as well as the title of my music band project, as you guys probably are aware by now. By the way, pinned in the chat, pinned in the YouTube chat, is a link to the Google Drive where you can download, you know, the album. So I was planning on having it distributed through the system, the program that I use for samples and everything like that. It's apparently a lot more involved to get that process taken care of than I realized. And so I have to actually get everybody who performed any music that's going to be published or whatever has to sign on and be like, yes, I agree to this. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. And I should have, but like, so I didn't have that, and I didn't have it already, and I'm still mid process of getting that all set. Once that's set on that website that I have a service through, it'll be blasted out to iTunes and I guess Spotify. I guess I'll decide on the day whether I want to send it to Spotify or what, but other places, YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
So, but for now, if you want to listen to it, it's in the Google Drive. You got the folder right there. You got the album artworks there. You even got, let me see. Made a cool little like animated graphic thing. So there's like about 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 different versions of the album art. Because as a lifelong rock music fan, I wanted to have like a traditional kind of like, you know, mystique laden, mysterious kind of cool rock album cover. But then as a lifelong comic book fan, I wanted variants. So,
well, unlike some other people obsessed with comic book variants, at least you didn't not crowdfund it and have them like fall apart as soon as someone looks at them funny.
So this is what I'm calling album art A. Like this is the primary one. And it is gonna, you know, depending on whether or not anybody ends up liking it or whatever. If somebody likes it and like you want a physical copy, I will, for the cost of shipping, I'm gonna get a few, you know, dozen of these printed or whatever, and then for the cost of shipping, as long as they're not in Australia or something. But I mean, you pay for the shipping, I'll send it to wherever. Anyway,
that always helps. Yeah.
So yeah, this is my classy cover here.
So that's the main variant. So let's see the next one.
Okay. Well, there's the one that I had been using for a while, which was more comic book inspired for sure. Let's see. Uh-oh, where'd it go? God damn it! Here we go. While I'm doing that, what are you up to, Morgan? How's your week been?
Work. It's been work. I worked. I took today off because I didn't want to drive home. I was like, I just want to be at home today. I don't want to have to go anywhere and come back because this is one of the worst driving nights of the year.
Yeah, I think I can see that.
You have all the amateur drinkers out, and yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So other than that, it's been quiet. I burned dinner.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, just same old, same old.
Here we go. If it'll load eventually. Here we go. Yeah. There's that one.
Cool. I do like that one. Feels very FAP inspired.
Yeah, definitely.
So how many of the first version do I have to order to get this variant cover?
I haven't really thought about it, but I guess I'll do like one and just ask for it. I suppose I'll probably get an even number of them both printed up. We'll see. Yeah.
I just the joke was there to be made. I'm sorry.
And then so the other part of this though, because Bob titled the name of the band, he came up, he just threw that out there one day. I was like, I don't know, kind of thinking about this or this as possible names for it. And he goes, this is a good one. I was like, God damn, that's good.
It's a good one, yeah.
And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I literally couldn't stop thinking about it to the point where when it came time to be like, should I change the name of my channel? That kept coming up.
Oh.
And I think that it broadens the purview of what would be expected. I feel like I don't really have much data on this or any data on this, but I sense that people show up to the channel expecting a certain thing, and it's been a while since I've really focused on fandom stuff. Like that's almost like tertiary to the channel at this point in a lot of ways.
Which sucks, but it's just sort of a sign of the times, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, I started off the content like my explicit, not explicit to the audience really, but I had written a little manifesto of what I wanted to do with my channel when I started, and part of it was, like get people to recognize that these grifters are politically, ideologically driven in a lot of cases, and also just to think about the the socio-political connections to these things that like fandom and comics and stuff.
Right.
And since then, a lot of people have done that, but then also the grifters have just gone completely mask off, and then we've kind of. I mean, I was never mask on. Well, I was mask on, but I was literally.
You were physically mask on, not literally.
I never hid, what I was about, man. But now it's just become like almost. Yeah, I don't want to dance around the topics that I'm actually concerned about and have to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to say, and also I want to talk about comedy, like stand-up comedy stuff. I like paying attention to what's going on with the whole Rogan sphere thing, and then the new comics that are coming up. I love that shit. I mean, I don't love the Rogan sphere. I love watching them crumble slowly.
Yeah, that's been a whole thing this year that I didn't expect, was that those people just like fell down a hole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to describe it. That like, because I don't know that their audience, like their viewership or those comics have had their like ticket sales go down.
They have there's like a massive. I mean, it's I'll have to do like a wrap up on it on Fabcast or something. But like there's a notable kind of
drop off.
Yeah, resistance to all their shit. Like a lot of people are kind of snapping to and realizing, oh, you guys aren't that funny. You're kind of just using slurs to, and bigotry punching down and stuff to the degree that, like, remember that piece of shit that did the Trump Nazi rally before the election?
Yeah.
The guy that said that, there's Puerto Rico's a floating island of garbage or whatever.
Yeah. Tony, what's his nuts?
Hinchcliffe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a huge piece of shit. He's not funny. he's got that Kill Tony show or whatever, and that's really just him getting famous off of like having other people with talent stand up and tell a few minutes worth of jokes, and then he makes fun of them.
Wasn't he like really shitty to that older wrestler on there?
Yeah, well, so it wasn't him in that case. It was just everybody was kind of laughing at him while he was trying to talk about his son who had died from an overdose.
Yeah,
Because it's not that kind of show. They're not sincere. It's not a sincere or like in touch with your vulnerable feelings kind of crowd. You know what I mean?
right.
And so they were just started laughing at him. And yeah, it's one of the most fucking. It's disgusting. But yeah, a bunch of pieces of shit around there, and Joe Rogan's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's the head turd.
Yeah, so I've just been, I'd like to cover that stuff and not feel like I have to explain myself. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Also, music. I want to cover that more because there's actually I've been seeing a surge in what's up?
No, go ahead. You're good.
I've been seeing a surge, like an uptick of videos about how wokeness is invading heavy metal music now or whatever. It's like, oh fuck Christ. So I guess it's finally getting around to rock music for whatever reason. But
I mean, but like metal and punk has always been pretty not super friendly to the fash.
Well, that's true, and it's also not, because there is always kind of been a bit of an element of, there's white supremacy and Nazi is this kind of adjacent metal and punk, and that's why there's literally had to be a song written called Nazi Punks Fuck Off. Right. That's the more famous and that's the more common mentality of punk music is like fuck Nazis, but there is that element of it that, kind of glommed onto it back in the day.
So there's still a Nazi contingent.
Yeah. I mean, I think like with any contingent of fascism these days, it's kind of shifted and evolved a little bit, but yeah, it's there and it tries to make itself known. And yeah, I feel like that's the kind of stuff I like. After almost 6 years of covering chuds and whatnot, it's gotten to the point where not that I don't want to do it at all, but like I'm not compelled to in my off time. You know what I mean? Like, so what the thing I'm actually get interested in and kind of end up down rabbit holes in is looking at what's going on with stand-up comedy and music and stuff like that. But yeah.
Happy New Year's to those on the East Coast of the United States.
Hell yeah. And you're Central?
I'm in the Yeah, I'm in Central.
It's crazy to think because where I'm from in Texas, I was Central as well. But
yeah,
we're in the same strip, essentially.
Big old strip of Central time zone.
There's always been been an anti-fascist metal. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's what it's important that there always needs to be, I think, right? Like they're just like there needs to be with, you know what? I kind of want to, if you guys don't mind,
sure.
I want to read a comment that I wrote on Reddit today because somebody in the Sawtooth and Crate subreddit I've actually seen a few people kind of posting similar to this, where people are kind of like taking breaks and stepping away from fandom stuff and like specifically like this subreddit. So I guess these people kind of see themselves as a bit like fighting the chuds or whatever.
Sure.
But let me find it. So, people are kind of understandably a bit kind of
a little burnt out on it.
Right.
Well, I think especially
here we go.
As we live in a time where fascism is ascendant, not just in America, but in the whole fucking world. You need a break.
So I don't want to put anybody on blast, but somebody posted taking a break from the culture war is the title. And then, hey, everyone, just want to put this out there before 2026 rolls around. I'm planning on taking a break from all of this woke, anti-woke, etc. I've been fighting the anti-woke since 2023, and I think I've reached a point where I'm just burned out, tired, frustrated, and overall tired with everything. Can relate. I feel like nothing has really changed in the overall culture war landscape, and that's what made me start to want to say something. The grifters are still here with their BS, and we're still here calling out the BS. It's the same old song and dance, just can't take it anymore. That's a weird phrase to use. It kind of sounds like something else when you use that phrase. Just can't take it anymore. While I do take pleasure in the fighting, calling out, exposing, ridiculing, and arguing the anti-woke grifters, conservative fascists, Nazis, etc., it gets to the point where it's the same routine. Yeah. So anyway, kind of expresses that. Good luck. Don't get me wrong, I'll still be supporting and so on. And it just kind of made me, in a very brief moment, kind of reflect on what have I learned and what would I say to somebody like this. And I said, well, I'm going to say it. And so brace for kind of a wall of text.
Sure.
I said, and I did not say who I was. I didn't, say I'm an actual fan or anything like that. My name is not that on Reddit. It's not me. I'm not identifiable as that. But I said I've been making YouTube content specifically pushing back and debunking the anti-woke chud since 2019, with a few breaks here and there, as well as various other content that I felt like making. But the vast majority of my output has been about the anti-woke grifters, the right-wing ideology underpinning most of the grift, and I have worked to bring new creators in and bring them together. But let me tell you a few tips that I've learned in that time. So 1, how you view this stuff is key. If you see yourself as a small part of a growing movement of fans who refuse to give up fan spaces to bad faith scammers and bigots and find joy in the community around you doing the same, it makes it a lot less draining than if you see it as a daily battle. These chuds will be around a while, but they have gotten fewer, and even the largest channels are slowing down in growth. It's actually a big turnaround from when they had their heyday, 2018 to 2021 or so. More people are becoming aware of them all the time, and they're losing fans all the time. Me and my friends who do similar content as me, we hear from the former chuds all the time, and there's certainly many more who don't reach out to us out of shame or whatever. And then, which I always remind people not to be ashamed, be proud that you got free of the algorithm cult.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is, what it boils down to: algorithms, and how YouTube mostly favors the shit that chuds make over nuance, healthy, measured, mindful expression of fandom and critique. And they also bought the fuck out of their views and are connected to far-right media corporations such as Blaze and Compound Media. In truth, the landscape will likely never be free of these chuds unless YouTube decides that they hate all the money that the current algorithm provides. That said, they do seem to be slightly less favored this year, and since new sincere fandom content has been popping up alongside the new anti-chud content creators. The tide has begun to turn and continues to shift. And then, by all means, take time and always prioritize your health. Don't let these fools kill your enjoyment of media. And this is something that I really kind of realized in the moment of writing this. Think about this. If they're sticking their beaks into something, it's because they see that media as popular and potentially antithetical to their ideological agendas. Meaning, it's super important that we do fandom loudly. We have to say loud when we might have otherwise silently appreciated a show or a movie. We should be as assertive with love and passion and knowledge of lore as they are with hate, cynicism, and Eric July levels of tourism. We need to destroy the gates that they want to build and to keep, and in their place build gates that don't allow intolerant shitheads or grifters to prey on our fandoms. And we keep strengthening our communities by making them more diverse and spreading the seed of fandom joy like Johnny Appleseed or some shit. And the thing about all that, it doesn't require going right at the chuds really at all. Everything I described are acts of resistance that don't necessitate you even thinking about a specific grifter. Sure, they'll show up, their sycophants and parasocial peons will chirp and yap, but that should just remind us that we are the stewards of something worth protecting. Because if it wasn't, they'd be doing it somewhere else.
Nice. So to add to that, I think that there's always going to be, not always necessarily, but for the foreseeable future, there's always going to be a culture war because it's an industry, right? It's not a fandom. The culture war is an industry. And the last thing you should do is let them take your fandom away from you. You shouldn't devote any more time to fighting them than you feel you have to give. Because you're doing it for free and they're on the clock, right? Literally, they're cashing in on it, right? But I think that ultimately is to our favor because at some point it just becomes a job to them where we have the passion of fandom, and there will always be new fans of whatever it is. Someone new will discover it for the first time. Someone will come back to it after being away for a while.
Yep.
and they're not going to have time for the bullshit. So to the original poster, enjoy your time off, have fun, and the fight will be here if you feel like getting back to it, and if not, good for you too.
And you know what? I might end up making a video about this because the thing I said at the end really, it kind of was an epiphany that I was telling myself at the same time that I could, even if I don't ever talk about another chud, if I make content that, like, you know, is explicitly or implicitly counters the narratives that they're always putting out or whatever, and I'm just saying I love this comic or this whatever that you know, typically they're currently saying is bad or whatever the fuck.
Right.
That's also important, you know, to push them back. And it's like I've spent so much time going directly at them and calling them out by name and stuff because that's what I felt needed to be done at the time. There was really nobody else doing it, and now there's been plenty of people doing it. And so it's like now I can actually afford to start to think about what is my fighting the chuds look like going forward when it's like doesn't even have to literally be that, right? And it's just as important to fight by you know, what do they hate that Rose Tico says in The Last Jedi?
Fighting for what you love.
Yeah, fight for what you love, not against what you hate or whatever. It's like,
right.
Yeah, that's a good line, actually.
It is, yeah. That's why they hate it. Well, that's just it's the opposite of their whole worldview, because to do that in the first place, they would have to love something. And I mean, just listen to how they talk about comics, right? So like it's always something they hate. Whatever the current run is, whatever the current crop of writers is, there's always something they glomp on as the thing they hate. They don't talk about what they like.
No.
Like on our side of the block, I don't think either of us have been a big fan of the Age of Revelation stuff.
I mean, stuff within it, but not overall, yeah.
Right. So we just haven't talked about it. We've talked about stuff like Absolute Universe, right? Like,
and we talk about the things like, you know, Gail Simone's you know, work within that. But even though it's really kind of amazing that she was just like, yeah, I'll write something that takes place in that time period, but it's like, it doesn't have to be. She didn't say it has to be connected to anything that he's doing over there, right? No, okay,
perfect, good.
But no, but like it's brilliant and it's a beautiful story that she told.
Really good story.
And then, you know, yeah. So I mean, it has to do. There's the two elements of it are that they just are kind of constitutionally unable to and unwilling to engage with something in a sincere, vulnerable way. You know, so like go out there and put yourself on the internet and say, I love this thing and this thing connects with me and stuff like that. That takes being like comfortable with feelings, basically.
It takes a level of openness. They're just not.
But that marries really well with grifting.
Right.
You know,
for sure.
That's why they are how they are. And then of course you throw in the bigotry in there and it's like, oh man, this whole thing's a whole shit show. But yeah, it's just be what they can't be. You know what I mean? And the thing I want to try and think of how I can make a strong argument about this too, by the way, is like, I want to be able to make it very, very clear and make a pretty potent message that if I'm going to do a video, I mean, that is like, we tend to keep our appreciation to ourselves a lot more than we do the negativity bias thing. Like if you, you know, if you go on Yelp or whatever the hell, people, they're far more likely to write a bad review because of a negative experience than they are a positive review for a positive experience.
Absolutely.
It's kind of just human nature. And I just feel like at this moment now, and whatever we're talking about, comics or fucking whatever it is, doesn't even matter. If you have a positive experience, then, you know, try to remember to speak about it and let people know about it.
Sure.
And because the negativity and the cynicism flies fucking freely, and it apparently is very lucrative as well. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, especially a critique-free level of negativity really feeds the YouTube algorithm's desire for unlimited slop. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what chud content is. It's analysis free. They don't want to talk about any deeper critical thought whatsoever.
No.
Because it's all emotional, it's all emotion driven. There's no analysis to it. And yeah, I think a lot of them have done a good job selling themselves as comedy, for lack of a better term. Because it's easy to use sarcasm in that way, but at the end of the day, it just rings hollow and uninspired.
Happy New Year, everybody that's experiencing that moment right now, or a few minutes ago, by the way.
Yes.
Hope your 26 is better than your 25, because I'm if you're anything like me, you did not like 25 very much.
The good news, it's a really low bar. The bad news is
we had a good year since like 2016? Have we had one good year? And what I mean is, like, generally everybody, most people on the internet anyway, express that every year that's like, oh man, this year's worse than last year.
I feel like 2022 there was like some level of cultural optimism, like a cautious optimism, that
Okay.
like we were starting to see the pandemic getting better.
We weren't hearing from Trump much.
Right. Trump,
Right.
Trump wasn't ascendant again. So I think that would have been kind of the moment. It looked like some people were going to be held to account for crimes.
Yeah, that was before the genocide in Gaza,
Yep.
perked up real good.
Yeah, before that kicked back off, or it's
Was that was right. That was the same year that Ukraine was invaded.
Right. That's sort of and everyone came together for that, right? Like, I think a lot of people were very pro Ukraine. I think a lot of people, I think in general, most people still are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even on the right, there's a lot of rightoids that are not for the Ukraine thing. Of course, there are plenty that are, but
right.
That's the politics break down kind of weird there. I don't quite understand. Maybe it's just some Nazi shit. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway,
I certainly don't.
So, point being that the channel is going to be. I mean, for one thing, I got demonetized again. Just to full disclosure, I got demonetized again. I'm not sure why. It's really difficult to get a clear communication line with Google whenever this happens. They send you like a link of like, here's what's, you need to verify your identity is what they tell me. And it's like, okay, I could have sworn I did that, but I'll do it again. I don't mind. I got nothing to hide. I got addresses. I got documentation. What do you need? Of course, they don't tell you exactly what to send.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I guess my driver's license. And I just got another new driver's license earlier in the year, and these new Oregon ones, I don't know about anywhere else, but they're so fucking shiny.
Oh,
There's
no.
like reflective little bits all over it and stuff.
Sure,
and it's like, I can
for
hardly get a goddamn picture of it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they tell you is that too many failed attempts at verifying your identity, they will just stop trying.
Right.
Too. So it's like, oh, great. So, this is fucking awesome. No stress at all. Thanks, Google.
None whatsoever. I'm sure everything's fine.
I'm guessing what happened is that one spot in my Google account or something, not even YouTube, but like in my AdSense or whatever,
Sure.
I didn't change my address from what it originally was or something, I think. And then they must have just spotted that and were like, oh, that keep monetized. So they paused my monetization there. I have 45 days. I mean, I've already gotten them as much as I feel like I can without them telling me more. I sent them a license and said, I just made a video selfie, me holding my license, saying my name.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
This is me, you morons.
So waiting on them to get back to me and see what's going on with that. But nonetheless, I think that this channel has kind of hit a ceiling, and I'm not a victim of that. I don't blame anybody. It's all my fault, really.
Well, it's a mix of things, right? I think there's things on your end. I also think that like YouTube is a mess right now, right? Like a lot of content creators are seeing their channels maybe not even decline, but stagnate.
Yeah.
I think you have a slop economy on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
that is driving viewership down because it turns out, I don't know about you, but like I'll go onto YouTube and I'll like just want to watch something on a topic, right? And I'll search the topic, and you can just see it's 30 slot videos. Well, by the time I get to slot video 10, I'm just gonna go out and turn on an audiobook and go and do whatever I needed to get done, right? Like I'm just gonna disconnect from YouTube rather than watch your AI slop YouTube.
I know he's none of our favorite guys, but he every once in a while has good points. Sam Harris, I caught a YouTube short of him recently saying that what's going to probably happen is that, and maybe this is too optimistic for people, but like for of how people are, but he said that people will just stop using social media eventually. Like, I mean, sure, there's going to be a lot of them that will, but I think there's probably a lot of them that just will not care or just get wrapped up in the delusion of AI insanity.
I think for a lot of people, you have to break down the demographics of who uses social media and why, right? Like, I think there is a lot of people, especially in my age bracket and younger than me, who are, scrolling, maybe clicking on an article, maybe commenting on something, but like generally just kind of scrolling to kill time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a segment of people who use it as a communication tool. They're not using social media to browse social media.
Mm-hmm.
They're using it as a chat client or a text service rather than anything, there's a feed there. They might scroll, but that's not why they sign into the application. So, and then I also think that there's just a lot of like content creators, a lot of journalists, who are on it because it's their job. However, as we've seen from studies done, depending on your social media, somewhere between 40 and in the case of Twitter, 70% of users of user generated activity is bots. And these are going to become dead internet platforms sooner than later. And what that is that the bulk of communications are going to be bots talking to other bots, and no human will be involved in that process.
We shall see. I do have, one thing I'll still love YouTube for, by the way, is stuff like this.
Pretty cool.
And then stuff like this.
Bring charges against President Trump was mine. But the basis for those charges rests entirely with President Trump and his actions, as alleged in the indictments returned by grand juries in 2 different districts. Our investigation developed proof beyond a reasonable doubt that President Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election and to prevent the lawful transfer of power. Our investigation also developed powerful evidence that showed that President Trump willfully retained highly classified documents after he left office in January of 2021, storing them at his social club, including in a ballroom and a bathroom. He then repeatedly tried to obstruct justice to conceal his continued retention of those documents. I remain grateful for the counsel, judgment, and advice of my team as I executed my responsibilities. I am both saddened and angered that President Trump has sought revenge against career prosecutors, FBI agents, and support staff simply for doing their jobs and for having worked on those cases. These dedicated public servants are the best of us, and they have been wrongly vilified and improperly dismissed from their jobs.
Well, remember that guy? He was gonna save...
That is Jack Smith, yeah.
I know, right? Like, I remember seeing those photos. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, and I was kind of, I guess I kind of assumed that maybe Trump didn't even understand what he had, but I think he did, or at least he understood that what he had was valuable, whether or not he understood what was in it or not.
Right.
And I think that he probably, sold us out on several occasions just before he got back in office. I mean, it seems pretty likely, right?
Well, and I think just that he fired anyone involved, right? That like up and down.
Surprise, motherfucker. Small fries, motherfucker.
I hope something comes of this. I really do, because that whole case was a slam dunk, save for the fact that like Trump appointed a judge to be like his next door neighbor, effectively, who's he knew this case would fall to as his like security blanket. And of course, you know, the Roberts court as well, with a lot of the stuff is just
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the Majority Report has a video up called "Why the Liberal Elites Keep Underestimating Trump," and I'm very curious about that, because I mean I kind of have a sense that it just really has to do with the fact that the guy has been nothing but a white collar criminal his entire life.
Right, it's a lot of practice.
So he knows how to just do, you know, he knows how to do other things, and it's not even that he knows how to get around stuff and to manipulate the system and stuff. It's that he has the fucking balls to. And most people don't, they just don't think that somebody would do the kind of shit that he does, right? So it's like hard to wrap your head around the fact that a human being would be so fucking brazen as to do what a lot of the shit that he's done. And that's not even getting into the Epstein file shit.
Right.
But
I also think that there are, depending on the year, right, 40 to 50 some senators who will cover his trail. There are 200 plus members of Congress who will cover his trail. There are judges at every level of the judiciary that will cover his trail. There are law enforcement officers at every level of law enforcement that will cover his trail proudly. He's not acting alone. He's a mob boss.
yeah, and I remember thinking that was kind of what the vibe I got from him whenever he first kind of came on the scene and stuff, and it was like, and other people said that as well, and it's just like, no, he can't be that, right? But no, he is in a way, and like honestly, he seems so stupid that if he wasn't for the fact that he's so rich, he would have been busted a long time ago for various shit. But you know, that luck may be running out as per a few things that are starting to happen, as we know. But here's this: Trump hit by a new bombshell account of twisted ties to Epstein. This was a report from the Wall Street Journal. So,
Wow.
What's his name has really given him permission to tear into him.
Yeah.
Murdoch, is that right?
Yeah, Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah. Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club sent young women to massage Jeffrey Epstein for years, even though he exposed himself to them. A disturbing report from the Wall Street Journal was revealed. The report says Epstein, who called himself Trump's closest friend from the late 80s to the early 2000s, was a frequent visitor to Trump's Palm Beach resort, but he also allegedly received frequent house calls from employees offering spa services.
Oh,
Employees were typically young women, were sent to Epstein's nearby home for years, despite warning each other of Epstein's inappropriate behavior. I'm sure they warned each other, but it's not like they really had a choice, I'm sure.
sure.
You know, which included being sexually suggestive and exposing himself during appointments. Finally, in 2003, guys, I want you to pay attention to what we're going to get into here. It's going to be pretty quick, but it's going to be pretty goddamn heavy. Like by the time I get done reading two little bits of article here, it's a pretty big deal, I feel like. Finally, in 2003, an 18-year-old beautician who had been sent to the financier's home complained to a manager that Epstein had pressured her for sex. The incident prompted the manager to relay her concerns to Trump, who I guess he must have acted very concerned, urging him to ban Epstein from his club. Trump agreed to bar Epstein from the premises, but the incident was not reported to Palm Beach law enforcement. Imagine that.
Oof.
Another employee, Virginia Giffray, one of Epstein's most outspoken victims, had been recruited by Palm Beach Club by Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, 3 years earlier when she was just 16. Giffray, who alleged that she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew, died by suicide in April. Trump's second wife, Marla Maples, also reportedly warned her husband and others that there was something off about Epstein. Former employees, I guess she didn't sense that about her husband, or what?
I don't know.
So the Wall Street Journal has identified 4 other Mar-a-Lago employees listed in Epstein's notorious address book, which was seized by the FBI. Police didn't start looking into Epstein until 2005, and in a few minutes we're going to look at what seems to maybe have caused him to finally do that. After a parent reported that he molested a 14-year-old girl, or there's that too. But he was finally arrested in 2006 after several teen girls told authorities he had paid them for sex. Epstein was eventually convicted of procuring a child for prostitution and soliciting a prostitute in 2008. Served 13 months in prison as a result. What that doesn't say is, well, it's kind of actually just wrong. He did not serve 13 months in prison.
No.
He served 13 months going to a facility during the day or during the night. And
during the night, yeah. He still worked from home. He continued his normal business. He had one of the biggest sweetheart deals in history.
There's almost never been a more affront to justice than that shit.
I would recommend you, because if I pulled it up and read it, you probably wouldn't believe it. You'd be like, no way, Morgan, you're full of shit.
The craziest part is when you learn how much the prosecution was working to defend him.
Yes, because they took it over from the state. It originally was supposed to be a state case, and the federal government intervened as the prosecution.
Well, Virginia, and her name keeps popping up here, and I mean, in a way, it's a good thing, because I hope that she still plays I hope she does play a big role in finally getting some justice, even though she's not here anymore. Because it's a sad case. I mean, all of them are, but like she was the one that was mentioned. If you remember, months back, there was that the gaggle of press was on Air Force One.
Yeah,
we're asking Trump about because the birthday book and all that stuff had come out. At that point, the card and whatnot, and literally asked Trump if he knew of Virginia Giuffre and any of the girls that were underage that were working with, kind of between Epstein and Trump. And Trump said yes. He literally agreed to say, it was probably her. I think that was her. And I guess the only thing I can think is he didn't understand that what he was saying is actually wrong. Right? Like he might not have he didn't realize it. Or maybe he didn't hear them say that they were underage, because he was freely admitting to it.
Right.
I have that video if you want to watch it. But like, that's when he said that he got rid of Epstein because he was stealing his girls.
Right.
His employees.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he said stealing. And it's like,
that's right. He did.
You can't steal something that isn't being paid for. I feel like, that's a pretty specific word to use, I think. And the whole thing is just gross. And he essentially said, yes, Virginia Giuffre was one of them, one of the underage girls that he was coming to Mar-a-Lago and taking from Mar-a-Lago to his home. And that's why I would stop being friends with him.
And never forget, when it comes to just speaking of his underage employees, Trump is also one of the biggest employees of undocumented workers in the country. His whole thing about cracking down on undocumented immigrants has always felt like him trying to cheap out on labor costs, that like he can pay them less because it's riskier. Or
I mean, it's the same thing as like him, being against abortion when he's almost certainly paid for probably a dozen of them or more.
And his change on abortion, it is less than a decade old.
Mm-hmm. I remember specifically right before the election in 2016.
Right.
2016. He was doing an interview where he still was kind of on the fence about it. The way
right.
It's like, this is a Republican nominee for, I don't know if he was a nominee yet, but he's, serious contender for Republican. And he's just like, yeah, some abortions are okay or whatever. Like, whoa.
He would never say that now.
No. So now, no matter how many times the story is told and retold, the truth remains. President Trump did nothing wrong, and he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep, Caroline Levitt told the outlet. That's not, I mean, maybe so, but like, he was also a creep. And he was, it's so fucking weird. The guy said, you know what? Fuck him. His past relationship with a convicted sex trafficker who died by suicide in jail in 2019 while facing federal sex trafficking charges has been the source of significant tension, as his administration has botched the long-awaited release of the Epstein files.
Sabotaged the long-awaited release of the Epstein files.
So I feel like it's a combination of intentionally and unintentionally. Because like, some of this stuff is just, they wouldn't have released it if they did it on purpose, right? Like, if you're trying to sabotage it to cover for Trump. They accidentally fucked up a few times, I think.
They did not do themselves any favors. No.
But then they're also trying to sabotage it in different ways. So it's just that's what we're seeing from the outside is like, what are you crazy motherfuckers doing? So when asked earlier this year why they fell out, Trump said, because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. So he hired one of the teenage girls.
So the crime, in Trump's mind, the crime Epstein was guilty of was taking his employees that he saw as his property.
That was his teenage girl.
That was his. God damn it. Yeah.
So here's this kind of takes a step over to another aspect of the Epstein-Trump relationship. And so what I remember reading about a couple of years ago when I was trying to learn what was their relationship really, was that they had a falling out over nothing about this is what I'd heard. I heard that the real story was that it was a house that Epstein wanted to buy that was, something sentimental or whatever, something he really wanted for some sentimental reason. Who knows what kind of creepy pedo sentiment he was feeling, but he wanted it really badly, and Trump knew that. He told Trump about it. Trump then went and bought the house
for
himself, which really pissed Epstein off. So Epstein stopped being cool with him. That's what apparently what Epstein had said was the whole thing. So you got two different guys, two rich fuckers, two gross billionaire motherfuckers that lie a lot and do shady shit, giving different reasons for why they stopped being pals.
Right.
But there's, what I would say that there's oddly a reason to kind of take Epstein more at his word than Trump. But he's dead. But still, like he at least could tell a coherent narrative. Epstein. Trump just says whatever random shit. Here's this. Not that. This is from Midas, but it's from a while back. But it's relevant. So Epstein, who was well acquainted and in fact deeply involved with Trump's scattered finances, understood that he didn't have $40 million to pay for the house, the one I just described.
Right.
Trump didn't have $40 million. He scarcely in his life had, all the money that he pretends he does.
Right.
If that was the case, it was someone else's $40 million. At the time, Epstein believed this to be the $40 million of Russian oligarch by the name of Ryablovev.
I mean, for all of the Republican talking point of the Russia stuff being a hoax, that has never been true.
Well, I mean, there's so many. It's just like with the Epstein and the pedo shit. There's little, bits here and there over the years that just like, there was a quote from, was it Donald Trump Jr. that had said that, a lot of our money, a lot of our deals are in Russia or something like that.
Right. Well, just think about it this way. A bunch of the people who were alleged to be at the Trump Tower meeting in 2015, 2016, in that time period, went down in the NRA scandals for for being involved in money laundering and stuff with the NRA.
Yeah, remember that honeypot chick they had?
Right. So like those same people, same political party,
and this guy, Trump in particular, who is never been somebody to second guess the ethics of a fucking business deal as long as he benefits, right?
Right.
So continuing on from there, so let's internalize that. Epstein believed that this $40 million that Trump used to pay for this home was actually the money of this Russian oligarch named Ryablovev. Less than 2 years later, the same house that Trump had bought was sold for $95 million, and it was in fact sold to that same Russian oligarch.
Sure.
This is all a red flag of money laundering. Epstein, after this, began to this is crazy. Epstein, after this, began to threaten lawsuits and going to the press saying that Trump was a front man for a money laundering deal.
Oh boy.
Trump panics at this point, and Epstein believed that it was Trump who went to the police and, as Epstein said, dropped the dime on him, informed the police of what was going on, and an investigation began, and all of Epstein's legal problems for the next 15 years began to unfold. Now, think about that video clip of Epstein. He's being questioned, I guess, it's like a whatever kind of grand jury maybe or something that he was doing, that where he says they ask him if he's ever hung out socially with Trump with underage girls.
Sure.
And he says, as much as I really want to answer that, I'm going to plead the Fifth and the 13th or whatever the fuck, all the different amendments he pleaded.
Right.
Which was weird. And it's like, why would he do that? He seemed to really want to answer that. I mean, he obviously did, but he at the same time didn't think it was a good idea to, right? And I'm kind of putting that in this context and thinking maybe at that point he really wished he could, but he also didn't want to implicate himself somehow,
or didn't want to get knocked off, right? Like,
yeah. So I mean, this was a rich guy fight. That's what this all was. It's two rich guys that were pals, and then they because they're fucking shady, scummy motherfuckers, they eventually were shady and scummy to each other, and then that became oh, how dare he? I've got to fucking use all my business and savvy and money to fucking get back at this guy, and then it devolved into we have a fucking president who
President
is the Epstein files. I don't know. That's just my theory. Very vague theory.
I think when it comes to things like this, like there are so many moving pieces. Because neither of these guys, we talk about Trump, we talk about Epstein, heck, we talk about Clinton, right? All of these people have people. All of them have organizations. None of these people act alone. And in the brief snippets of the Epstein files that the FBI didn't completely redact, top to bottom, we see there are redacted co-conspirators, 10 co-conspirators. We know one of them was moved to a minimum security work release prison.
Well, no, we know. Well, the one that was one of them that was not redacted was the French guy that killed himself.
Oh, right, him too. Yeah, fell on a shotgun.
Yeah, it's weird. Weird how many people kill themselves in these situations.
Right.
I don't know. I doubt we'll ever know all of the things. Right.
Part of me is kind of glad for that. I don't know that I want to know. Like, we know enough that these people and their enablers should be in a deep dark hole forever with the information we had earlier this year, even. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's bad enough. The things that have come out already are bad enough that breaking news, Trump has said he's withdrawing the National Guard from L.A., from Portland, from Chicago. He's basically not going to be doing that for now.
What?
He didn't say that that's why he's doing it, but I mean that kind of seems obvious why he, you know what I mean? Like he recognized that he's lost quite a bit of whatever political power he perceived himself as having when he did those things, when he started sending the Guard into cities.
Sure.
So yeah, he's like, start of the year or whatever, he's pulling them out. For now, he said. But I mean,
for now. I wonder if someone showed him the bill. Well, okay, because the thing historically that screws up military operations is often money.
Yeah.
And we have, because the most recent debt ceiling crisis only pushed the can down the road till early 2026. And that's going to need more military appropriations if we're occupying our own cities. That's not cheap. That's not cheap
and
at
also,
all.
He seems to be ramping up this, this fucking
Venezuela war
on Venezuela. Back in the day, back in our day when we were kids, and they were doing this whole Iraq invasion thing, they at least had the respect for the American people to pretend like they were going to go to Congress and make a strong case for why they needed to go to war.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're not even fucking bothering. It's just like, whatever, we don't care.
why would they? Who's going to tell them no?
And
Like back then,
literally
there
nobody.
was some idea that someone somewhere might say no.
And that if they did, that there might be consequences. That's the main thing. Is they actually still there was a general implicit agreement that consequences might happen if you do certain things and get,
Right. But we are well past the point that these. I mean, you would need a Democratic establishment that isn't beholden to the same billionaires that the Republicans are beholden to. And those billionaires who both parties are beholden to want the Republicans there because it makes them lots of money.
Bingo.
If you're an establishment Democrat, I don't know what you're getting out of the deal, but I guess what you get is being in a permanent, being a permanent minority party, I guess is really easy. I mean, what has Chuck Schumer had to do this year?
I'm sure he's had to field a lot of criticism.
He's had to, he's had to hear people say he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then what he does about that is go back to not doing anything.
It's really stressful when people are like, resign, you piece of shit. He's like, I'm
Right.
going to talk to my fake family that I always mention.
Right. The ones who definitely exist.
Yeah.
Sweet Thorin was sworn in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Bound to happen eventually, right?
Yeah.
I saw this weird video that they'd uploaded on his channel on YouTube where it's like, I mean, it was sweet and cute and everything. And it's like, I just was like, what is the point? So it was a mother and her son, and they're like, Latino family, or, mother
Sure.
and son. The boy was probably 5-6 years old. Very cute. And they're sitting there in like some kind of playroom, and Zoran's just kind of standing there looking down at them, smiling. And the boy's like, very, very sweet. He's like, I want to help. I see homeless people on the street, and I want to help them. How can we help them get places to live and get food and get taken care of and stuff? And it's all like, that's adorable. And he tells him, I want to help. So what, how can I help? And Zoran's like, that's very sweet. And kind of gives him a pat. And then they walk off. And then Zoran just kind of like quietly pushes the chairs back into the table. And then the thing ends.
Oh, that's,
And I was like, wait, what? I mean, okay.
Okay. Very weird.
It is weird. I mean, I don't know what they were trying to do with that, but I didn't get
They
it.
had an idea in mind.
Yeah.
What it is, who can say?
Maybe it's just part one. Maybe there's going to be a follow-up there.
It's going to be a series, yeah.
We shall see, I suppose. So what do we got here? What do we got?
Should we talk about, speaking of little kids, should we talk about how Trump is screwing over little kids?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. So let me pull up a couple things here. I'm actually gonna, let's just watch a video.
All right.
Do you know about what's her name? I'll see it in just a second whenever I find her video. But she is an attorney, and she actually lives in Minnesota. I just found out from this video.
Cool.
Because this whole senators emanates.
I don't know her because she lives in Minnesota.
No, I mean, but do you know her as a content creator? I mean,
Leisha Miller.
Yep, that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, in fact.
So she's pretty great.
Yeah, she does good work.
I wish everybody was as thorough as her, but I mean, it does take a lot of work to be thorough, I suppose.
Yeah. What work? How does that work?
Oh, damn. It didn't let me share that because I have too many things shared. Whoopsie.
Naughty.
Whoopsie doopsie. And I saw someone say that Tarzan is great with the sticks, the drums. Yeah, he was actually the drummer. That's the band is Nothing More that clip was from. That's the singer that was standing up with drums. He was originally the drummer of the band.
Shut up.
Through a bunch of singers early on in the band's life cycle, and they couldn't keep a singer. And finally, despite his like crippling anxiety of like singing in front of people, he finally just said, "I'll fucking do it." And then he became the singer. And now they're, one of my favorite bands. And then here is another clip of that same thing. Love that band. It's good stuff. Now, so what do you want to just let her explain it? Because I think she does in her video. Or do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, we can let her. Yeah, she can explain it better than I can. Also, you can play the video, and I have to go for a little bit because we're gonna toast New Year's here in about 10 minutes. Really? So I will be back.
Sounds good.
And you can play that in the meantime, I guess.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna vanish. Poof.
Let me find this thing. In the meantime, while I'm trying to find that, I will play this thing.
Again. Mehdi, I don't put it all on the Palestinians.
It is on the Palestinians. Israel has always wanted peace.
Yes.
That is putting it all on the Palestinians.
No, hold on. No, it's
I'll
not.
read it a third time.
No,
That's all it would
Mehdi,
take.
don't read it a third time. Let me
hand.
answer the freaking question.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth, son.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did.
I have resisted going as far as you have done in your criticism of the Israeli government. I think you and I have reached a place in the last few weeks where we are in agreement.
I'm glad we're in agreement. I wish we weren't. Actually, I wish I had been wrong and you were right. I wish that a year ago when I said on your show, you said, well, if it's not about the hostages, what's it about? And I said, it's about depopulating Gaza. It's about conquering Gaza. I wish I'd been wrong.
What about the persecution of the Jews? Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews.
I think that there was a little bit of persecution.
We may have to rename
this
show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
They originally come from countries whose governments are a complete catastrophe. What is he talking about?
Betty, if you're trying to convince me that Donald Trump is a racist...
I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm asking you on television with an audience watching to explain to me in good faith, what did Donald Trump mean when he told...
He's trying to shut them up.
By making racist remarks.
I don't consider them to be racist.
Why?
You do.
And I'm asking why.
I know these people, and I do not believe that was racially made up. No.
You know someone doesn't mean a statement's not racist. Every non-proliferation expert agrees that those strikes did not help with non-proliferation. The IEA have come out and said it didn't help.
So this is just kind of this is from Zateo. If you guys aren't subscribed to this Zateo on YouTube or even on Substack, if you're interested, Zateo is Mehdi Hassan's kind of the thing that he did once he was basically fired from was it MSNBC he was on or CNN, I don't remember, but you know they let him go because he wanted to talk about, or he quit, something like that, because he wanted to talk about, you know, the genocide in Gaza, and that of course corporate media is not okay with that. They're not okay with referring to it that way. It's either that Israel is a bunch of victims who just happen to be raining death upon children, or not at all. So he said, fuck this, I'm going to go start my own thing where we're almost, you know, primarily going to focus on Israel's genocide against Gaza. I mean, he talks about lots of other stuff too, but it's very good channel, very good content, very good perspective that's necessary. It's I don't want to call it a niche of journalism that would need to be filled, but it's definitely needs somebody that puts up with no bullshit like Mehdi Hassan. Great debater, great guy, seems like. And I was actually pleasantly surprised to learn, because he had a discussion with Mark Ruffalo a while back. You know, had Ruffalo on there, and they were talking. Not only is he, you know, he's knows lots of worldly things and is on the right side of history, Hassan, I mean, but he actually knows his Marvel stuff. He knows the MCU shit, and I was like, that's awesome. So Zateo, check it out. Here we go.
9th, 2025, you're tuned into Why America? I'm Legia Miller. Over the Christmas holiday week, among posts about the rigged 2020 election, Jeffrey Epstein, and Nigerian strikes, Trump posted numerous times about fraud in Minnesota under the leadership of Democratic Governor Tim Walz, perpetrated by Somali immigrants who stole taxpayer money from the state and sent it to the terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Nick Shirley, a 23-year-old YouTuber from Utah who calls himself an independent journalist and was a guest at Trump's Antifa roundtable for right-wing influencers back in October, posted a video on December 26th called "I Exposed Minnesota's $1 billion fraud scandal."
Okay. Now, pausing right there, we're going to take a look here at a couple of video clips I have. I like this one.
Right. How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
That was conservative YouTuber Nick Shirley. His viral video where he's going door to door at daycares in the Minneapolis area and saying that he's uncovering massive amounts of fraud at Somali-run daycares has exploded on social media. Elon Musk retweeted the video. J.D. Vance retweeted the video. CNN is looking into Shirley's claims. This idea of fraud in Minnesota, though, is not new. In fact, for many, many years, the Department of Justice has been prosecuting cases against dozens of defendants, many of whom are concentrated in the Somali American community here in the Minneapolis area. Some of those cases actually began under Biden's DOJ in 2022 for a various list of different types of frauds. And so far, there have been at least 80 people indicted, at least 56 convictions. Attorney General Pam Bondi responded to the Shirley video, as did the FBI Director Kash Patel. Both of them say federal law enforcement has been all over this from the beginning and has secured many indictments. Further, this has become a major political headache for Governor Tim Walz because Republicans here in Minnesota say he is ultimately responsible for these fraud issues, for not doing enough to have an adequate level of accountability. Governor Walz says that he has done a lot. He's shut down one program. He's established a program integrity director. He says that he is doing what he can to try to root out this fraud.
Narrative just got blown up in one swoop. This entire Minnesota fraud case that MAGA supporters have been chasing for the past week blew up in their faces.
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video. Shirley's viral video, released over the weekend, in which he says he's uncovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud at Minneapolis daycares run by the Somali community, was retweeted by Elon Musk and Vice
So this is a guy who is clearly in connection and he has in contact with the administration or people within it. He was, for some reason, invited to that roundtable or whatever about the Antifa organization bullshit. How much you want to bet that they're, we'll probably never find out this, but maybe so. How much you want to bet that this was like almost an assignment for him? How much you want to bet this was an assignment? Showed up outside of business hours. In one case, you can see people inside, like some weird. Well, I mean, yeah, like the lady asked him here. She's like, "Do you really expect a preschool to open its doors to some random person with a camera?" Because he's like, "Well, the doors are locked." And it's like, "Yeah, man, preschools lock their doors, dude. That's a pretty common thing. Anybody who's ever had kids or anything, yeah, you know that, or should know that."
President J.D. Vance. In the video, Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds. Did you come during their normal operating hours when you came to visit?
I came at 11 a.m., I believe, and I also came the following day later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how she said, "Surely you don't think that they should be unlocked." His name is Nick Shirley. Sorry. Don't call me Shirley. But wait, that's my name. Okay. Yeah. And as we saw with what's her name? Goddamn Riley Gaines, is that it? Fifth place loser? She's literally had a foundation named after her, and she's been put as the figurehead of this thing for what? Tying for fifth? You know what I mean? And it's like, and then the whole thing is to go after trans people. That's all they got. They just astroturf everything, man. Everything that the right does, for the most part. Even if there's something that they might have somewhat of a hint at of a valid concern over, they're gonna fucking astroturf the shit out of it. And I'm not saying that they anything that Riley Gaines or this guy's doing have any hint of truth to them, except apparently there is some truth to the fact that there's been some fraud connected to the Somali Americans in this area or whatever. But the fact is, when you say that the Somali immigrants in this current climate, this political climate we're in, this era, and you say that some Somali immigrants have done some fraud, certain folks are gonna just run with that as, oh, Somalis are fucking all criminals and they need to be deported, and and part of like the whole point of this really is to, like I said earlier, I think it's done intentionally to distract from other stuff that's going on that's not going in the administration's favor. But also, the way that they do that is by just stirring up that, it's so fucking old at this point. If you want to manipulate hogs, chuds, to doing, getting distracted or getting angry or whatever, just throw them a bigotry bone. Throw them what feels like a good excuse to be a bigot, and they'll fucking chew the shit on it. They'll just fucking, Surely you can't be serious. Yeah, dangle a conspiracy in front of the theorists too. That's another one. Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand there.
Shouldn't be able to just walk into a daycare.
Be a reception.
No, every daycare is locked.
Their doors are locked.
And so, okay, you bring up a fair point.
Oh my god, he's just so clueless. You bring up a fair point. I didn't think of this until after I blasted this video out to 200 million people and ruined the lives of these daycare owners. And
I think that was the point. I think the debacle was the whole point. But let's get back to Legia Miller and her take on this.
1.4 million views on YouTube and over 100 million views on Twitter in 3 days. It caught Trump's attention and received praise from the likes of J.D. Vance and FBI Director Kash Patel. It has spurred on federal and state investigations and instigated responses from officials across the federal and Minnesota state governments. But is this reporting accurate? Is there widespread fraud in the state of Minnesota? Is the Somali community to blame? Is Tim Walz to blame? Today we're breaking down what's actually happening here in my home state, where I actually live among the dreaded Somali immigrant community here in Minneapolis. We'll look at Nick Shirley's video as well as the actual investigative reporting by real journalists. And we'll discover that many things can be true at the same time, and that nuance and critical thinking are once again proving difficult for Trump and his MAGA base, who are eating this shit up hook, line, and sinker. This headline from Reuters about this story caught my eye. FBI investigating Minnesota fraud scheme, director says. Using the Ground News browser extension, I can get helpful background information on this publication in one quick glance. To get the big picture, I can click on full coverage, which will show me coverage of the same story from publication news headline and headlines you may have missed. Ground News of relying on a single outlet that might have underlying side of the political spectrum and not publication. I'm not the only one who loves Ground News. The Nobel Peace Center even called it visiting child daycare centers upwards.
The video is acting weird. Huh. Okay. You butthole. Oh, Morgan's back. Or is Morgan back? I can't tell. Shit. Shitty shit. Here's this.
And by the way, the uranium is missing. You mean the former Dutch Prime Minister who sends text to Donald Trump in caps locks, sucking up to him like you do? Great. What a credible source you have there.
What criteria did they change? They changed many criteria, but I
They
want to
didn't
ask you
change
something
any.
which is
No,
simple.
hold on. No,
No,
Daddy. What criteria did the IPC change? Because they used the same criteria, the MUAC criteria, that they used to declare a famine in Sudan last year. They used the same criteria in Gaza.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm scared of you.
Why are you scared of me?
Because I've seen you like really go hard at people.
Well, why would I go hard at you?
I don't know. You should go hard at everybody.
That's true. Okay, fine. I'll go hard at you.
No, I was kidding.
Thank you very much. When it comes to the genocide in Gaza, Western journalism has spectacularly failed us. You're here in New York at
Cream City. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's up, hon? Hold on.
Happy New Year to Morgan and Morgan's spouse, partner. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do to you guys now? I'm going to make you listen to a new song for New Year's. Deal with it.
We just.
What did they get out of my name?
Oh my God. You know you're not muted?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We just got a handwritten letter from the J-Dubs.
Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Can we hear it? What's it? Like, is it personal to you? Like customized to you?
I have not read it.
Oh.
It was written a few days ago.
Happy New Year from Bob of the Old Ways. Happy New Year, Bob. You gonna make it back from Florida eventually, man? I hope so. We miss you. We miss you. Come back to us. I'm gonna let's give the stream a pause for about 4.5 minutes.
All right, go for it.
We'll be back, folks. I gotta go to the bathroom and yeah. Cool, Morgan. We good?
Yep, go for it.
Pull up some image to look at least. Okay. Performative and insecure. The villains are clutching their pearls. Is this really the way of the world? The road to hell is littered with poisonous traditions, mindless superstitions. Can we at least try to consider the effect? Ooh, consider the effect. No better angel from within, no gods to condemn or forgive, or a savior to wash away our sins. It's only you and me, my friend, the cycles that we exist within, the effects of choice and consequence. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. No. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. 'Cause really it makes no difference whether it's malice or ignorance when it's you on the other end. No. Do you ever consider the effect? There's no better angels from within, no gods to condemn or forgive, or a savior
intentions? Do you ever consider the effect? I'm underwhelmed by the overtures, performative and insecure. The villains are clutching their pearls. Is this really the way of the world? The victims are falling their sword. Is this really the way of the world? We're so far beyond magical thinking. Do you ever consider the effect? The road to hell is paved with the corpses of the indifferent. They never considered the effect. Do you ever consider the effect?
And we're back. And we're back.
We're even back.
We are back and back in black. Unfortunately, my band is not this band right here. Really glad to see that band finally got out of the Mos Eisley Cantina circuit and, you know, started making rounds elsewhere, because that's cool, man. They're talented bunch of guys.
Well, they've diversified. They're not playing jizz music there, so they got like this electro thing going.
Well, you know, the political things the way they are politically, it's jizz isn't so popular anymore.
I have been pointed out it could be electro jizz.
Oh, electro jizz.
That could be electro jizz. I'm not a musician. Dane, you're the musician in the group.
Well, I'm also the jizz expert.
You said it.
Did he know when he called it that? Did he know that that's what that?
Jordan?
What that
no, that's not. I don't think that's a George thing. I think that is a EU thing that became a real boy.
It's still canon though. I believe they kept that as canon from what I remember. I think.
All right, let's go. It's been a minute since I looked up the canonicity of jizz.
Jizz fusion, yeah. Well, that's what, you know. It's not gay if you're just doing some jizz fusion, right? Sorry. So what did you find out from the Jehovah's Witnesses?
They're trying to cold read us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to do a literal cold read, like a psychic, or what?
Kind of like, oh yeah, with all the things going on, and then they try and like put the things that are going on. It's just a lot of like scattershot.
Oh.
Guessing so you'll hook onto one.
I don't think Max Rebo Band is jizz. I think Max Rebo Band was something else. Right?
So apparently it is canon. Jizz whaling is canon because of the Star Wars Return of the Jedi junior novelization from 2017.
Wow. They're telling us this is a kid's book, huh?
This is a
kids were learning about jizz whaling.
And Max Rebo in canon is a jizz whaler, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, he's a big blue one.
It definitely. That's Bob. Bob asked a good question because I mean, like, it is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, like, who can say what the meaning of jizz even was to the people of Tatooine?
Things were different back then. You know, people looked at jizz completely differently. It was more of a natural lubricant. And anyway, so back to this thing where did you see these clips of this idiot, this Shirley guy?
Oh, which guy is that? Because the
one
answer
that
is
did the video that kind of made this whole stupid Minnesota Somali thing blow up.
oh my God, yeah, he is a real piece of shit and piece
Literally
of work.
going to fucking daycare centers and like not even during their operating hours, but then like being like, they're locked, their doors are locked, you can't see in there. And it's like, yeah, man, because they've got preschoolers and they there's some real creeps out there in case you haven't heard.
And he's got like a camera guy with him too and stuff. Like,
how come they won't answer the door? They won't let me in.
Yes, how come a childcare facility won't let you and your cameraman and your 2 security goons in?
You know what? I take it back. I said while you were gone, I said because this guy was apparently he was at do you remember that meeting we covered on the Fapcast whenever they talked about the Antifa organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He was one.
Oh my gods!
Like, why was he there? Because there were several influencers or whatever there. So then I started thinking, I wonder if he was kind of assigned this project. You know what I mean?
Probably.
But now I'm realizing, no, they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have assigned someone to go to a daycare to get people thinking about children in daycare, if that's what they were trying to use to distract from Epstein, right? I just feel like.
Well, my guess is that the story they're trying to go with is that these quote unquote Somali daycares aren't really childcare facilities and that it's just a money laundering scheme.
Pizzagate 2.0, great.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Or then the thing is it's oh, gross.
I saw this. Look, man, this Amazon is selling this. I feel like they should not. Maybe
talk about. Speaking of that, I think this is why this is sort of the genius thing of this guy's scam, right? Is that okay? So he goes to a Somali-owned child care facility. The door is locked. They won't let him in because obviously, then he can say it's a front, it's fraud. If they do let him in, he can talk about all the indoctrination that's going on, etc., etc. So like it's a win for him either way, right? Like,
yeah, whenever you set out to find something, shady and yeah, you're gonna find it.
Yeah, when your job is to make something look shady, you'll find a way to edit your video and set your music the right way to sell it, right? Like,
I mean, it's a testament to how stupid some of these people are and how desperate they are to believe the worst, craziest shit. I mean, just who comes to mind right now is Cabrutus, that the guy that started the Sweet Baby Inc. Thing, that literally had not played any of the games,
right?
And all that stuff. It's like just so. Then he went to Japan and nobody would fucking agree with him on anything, and it's like, but people still follow that guy. People still. Yeah.
It's because they believe the conspiracy, right? Like they were already. Most people who followed that guy were already believers, right? I don't think he converted. That guy was not responsible for a lot of new chuds being hatched. Fun fact, chuds hatch like chest bursters. That's canon.
Well, I did do a bit of an investigation into that, by the way. I joined that the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Discord server for a little while.
Right, I remember.
And yeah, I mean, I did some looking at some of the things they were talking about in there, and you wouldn't be surprised to learn that they're bigots.
Yeah, what? Wow.
Speaking of bigots, so Ilhan Omar is senator or congresswoman in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And there's also, have you heard about the flag thing that they've been?
I have, yes.
It's so stupid, Morgan. It's so fucking stupid.
The flag thing is incredibly stupid.
And it's like all of this is just reeks of inorganic. At some level somebody's making this happen, knowing that it's a cynical thing. They're like, we gotta, make this a big thing or whatever. And it's like they've redesigned or are working on redesigning the Minnesota flag or something.
They redesigned it, yeah.
And it you know what it has on there? That it's really insidious, you guys. It has a star and then it's blue.
Wait,
and you know how in America we don't do blue and stars on our flags at all.
Can we pull up a picture of the American flag? I want to. You know, one of those handy.
What's that?
An American flag. I haven't seen one in a while. They're not like up all over the place, you know.
You mean the Confederate flag?
No, the United States of America, not the. I don't live that far south.
Not the loser flag. Okay.
Yeah, the one from the people who won the war. We got one of those handy.
Wow, this is embarrassing, Morgan. You know how I was just saying we don't do blue and stars?
Yeah. We find the American flag?
Why do I have egg on my face?
Uh-oh.
So in our American flag, we have blue and then there's white stars in it.
What? No way.
Yeah. Unless we're
No
talking
way.
about the blue line matter flag because blue lives matter because it's just got a never mind. We're not talking about that. That's
the blue waffle flag.
The blue waffle flag. Yeah, go look that up, everybody.
Yeah. If you're really into Blue Lives Matter, you should support Blue Lives by looking up blue waffles. That's what you should do.
You know, there's a lot of cops that say that that Blue Lives Matter is like a super duper important thing. And I think it's something like 40%. So just Google police
40%. Yep.
And you'll see. So yeah, there's
blue and stars on our American flag. The scandal.
Happy New Year, Jay Kung.
Happy New Year.
It's a blue waffle flag. So Fieldy says, look it up.
Totally.
Yeah, anyway.
I appreciate Fieldy looking out for the more naive in our audience when we definitely will not.
Did you notice the so there's just a kind of random thing that in the and I think she might have accidentally done this, like subconsciously slipped this. The CNN anchor or news lady that was interviewing her, you know, the name is what is the name? Dustin something Shirley, right?
Okay.
Nick Shirley, whatever. And he says something like you know, she's talking to him outside the daycare and he's like, well, you know, blah blah blah. And she goes, oh, surely you're joking. And nobody stops and appreciates the moment or anything. It just kind of glosses over it. I'm like, hold on a
That's
second.
a good one. Good. Be cultured. Aren't these the return to tradition people who want to bring humor back?
But you know, who knows?
Oh my God, that makes me mad. Like, that's a classic.
His own research to discover Somali fraud in Minnesota, which includes numbers on a piece of paper that he likes to wave around and visiting child daycare centers upwards of 100 times to see if he can get a look at the children.
Yikes. Yikes. What are you, Donald Trump? Jesus Christ.
I've noticed a thing, a pattern, maybe.
Yeah.
What is it with Republicans wanting to see children in schools? Like, they want to see school kids' genitals. They want to see kids in preschool, like in the bill. Like, this is a whole thing with them. They just really.
Is that the new low bar now?
Yeah. That bar is subterranean. This guy can't get over it. Guy's like, oh, fuck the mantle. Shit.
Well, Barry Weiss doesn't even fucking trust me. Oh, I gotta give up on this shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, they really love to, you know, and I think part of it's performative and just like, you know, hand wringing for optics sake and for attention, you know, and for once again for emotional triggering.
Yeah.
Of emotionally stunted people that just kind of go, oh dear, the children. But I think also like the underlying thing with the conservatives is they don't want kids to actually learn anything that they don't want them to,
right?
That they don't think they should learn, and that, you know, all stems from them wanting to control and mold and fashion children into, you know, exactly what they think they should be, and nothing more, nothing deviating from outside of that. Which, believe it or not, is actually a really harmful way to be a parent or treat children.
I think in a larger context, I think it also is a strong indicator that they see everyone who they consider a lesser to be their property.
Yeah.
And that like you can't tell their property things that they don't want their property to hear. Because they also like think of how they talk about like unionization.
Mm.
And there is this sort of like paternal we know best attitude that you're corrupting our workers, etc., etc. And I'm just like, and how they talk about wretch.
Talk about what?
All of we've seen a rise of this, or rather a ratcheting up of it lately with the right wing of like pro-slavery and how slavery was good for the enslaved.
Yep.
From that same paternalistic standpoint, and it's just like, well, hold the fuck up. No.
Well, it's the same thing as like I'd read an essay a few years ago. I think I've talked about it before on stream, but I forget who it was by. But it was kind of an eye opener. It was a guy writing about how we don't understand how fascists see what they do and what with them, like their attempts to, and in some cases lately, success in removing rights from people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that they feel like we don't deserve them in many cases. It's that they feel like we just, or people that they see as less than them or whatever that are outside of the norm just can't possibly even comprehend the responsibility of having rights, and therefore they're going to take them and I don't know, make choices for those people. It's like a weird, like you're saying, paternalistic. It's a fucking bizarre thing to try and get your head around, because most people, I think, don't think like that. But then there's this subsection of people that do. And
I think that might be a division between conservatives and fascists.
Okay.
True. Because I think that describes conservatives more than it does fascists. And I think fascists just don't think people on the whole should have rights.
Well, I mean, a fascist is just a conservative who let himself justify his positions a lot more, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, to me, a fascist is somebody who maybe was conservative at some point, but he just started kind of thinking more and like taking his nonsensical assumptions and prescriptive ideas about society to their logical endpoint. I don't know.
That sounds too coherent for fascism.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they did it on purpose.
Okay.
Kind of, I mean, if it's all appealing to very vibes based. All this shit is so vibes based with Shuds, man.
Oh yeah, it's.
Can I? Since we're on the topic, I came across some stuff on Reddit that I thought was pretty interesting conversation to have. I know. I mean, I generally don't go into shitty Reddit subreddits or anything.
That's isn't that just I'm sorry. I am like needlessly anti-Reddit.
It is a bunch of bullshit, especially now that I just learned that apparently what ChatGPT was trained on Reddit.
Yeah, and you can tell.
But there was a post about Andor, and this is in like a Star Wars or in Solitude and Crate or something, where like somebody said they basically said something about the show that radicalized them into becoming a tanky was their post, and it was about Andor. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I mean, I get it. That from right off the bat, you're already talking about an unhinged fucking take. Like,
do you know what a tank? Does this person know what a tanky is?
I think they just think that it means like somebody who fights or something.
That's not a tanky.
I know. Well, I mean, but like the fact is, the show Andor, as based and fucking anti-fascist as it is, that's all it really is. It doesn't really get into like it is anti-fascist. It is not pro really much at all, and explicitly. You have different characters expressing things here and there, but it's not like it's a communist fucking show or some socialist thing or whatever.
I would say it is like pro-organized resistance, right?
Sure.
That like,
and very often those resistances, once they become organized in these circumstances, they either already were, or they eventually kind of find their way into being more pro, say democratic ideals, and that might take the shape of like socialist agendas and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just bizarre. People started roasting the post in there, but then some pretty awesome conversation ended up happening. A couple of takes that I was like, wow. For instance, there's a couple of people that were posting about so people were, of course, people showed up and say, that's pretty dumb, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then you had a couple of chuds show up and say, oh well, surprise, surprise, the leftists that think everything, that every show they like happens to be on their side of things or whatever. And it's like, well, I mean, it's not on the side of authoritarianism,
not on your side.
So then the conversation became, well, the left can be authoritarians too. And it's yes, that's true, but I mean, that's not what that's not what's happening in the show.
It's not. It's very much not.
And so this person kind of came in with the so basically the idea of the libertarianism as a leftist ideology as well, which doesn't get talked about much because it was that, and technically I guess still can be that, but for the most part, capital L libertarianism is a right-wing thing.
Right. Shout out to Bob. Bob of the Old Way is a classical libertarian.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Someone bringing this back up.
Oh my God. I mean,
child reaper.
It's not just anti-authoritarian, it is anti-fascist.
Yeah.
You have to not know what fascism is generally like historically to not see it in that show.
Yeah. And the show is not subtle about it. Not even a little.
Nope. So anyway, there's like one thing that did a pretty good quick explainer of the difference between libertarianism, small L and big L.
That's cool.
Well, I'm trying to find exact screenshots that I took of this. Okay.
While you're looking for that, I want to address this one from Big Fieldy.
Go ahead.
So Big Fieldy says, I originally considered myself a libertarian when I didn't know much about it. Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. I did a lot of studying about what it was. And what moved me from libertarian into left of that was the essential precept of libertarian. What it sells itself as is big government is bad.
Right.
At least here in America, well, we have a thing bigger than government called multinational corporations that own all of the people in the government. And so they're worse.
Right. And so right-wing libertarianism is inherently flawed because they're just like, if we just get rid of government, we'll be okay. And it's like, but then what's absolutely going to happen very fast is with no regulations or anybody to stop them, corporations are going to own people.
Right. Well, and
it'll just be slavery pretty quick.
Right.
But, what about the non-aggression principle? Well, that only applies whenever I care about something. Is how,
right.
It's really how they divide the libertarian.
The non-aggression principle and how it relates to trans people. Yeah. I'm for freedom and free speech and, free healthcare decisions, and the government shouldn't tell you what to do. Or you're trans, never mind, please die. Got it. All right, cool. So principled.
So capital L libertarianism is a right-wing belief, but its belief that government should be small goes hand in hand with its belief that wealthy businesses should be unregulated, which just leads to corporate autocracy.
Right.
A system ultimately just as authoritarian as total government control. There are libertarian small L leftists too, which is a belief system that skews closer to anarchism and or radical democracy.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's a good little summary. I like that. But they kind of became like the whole thing was at the core of the conversation was the critique of power, and that's what I guess the idea that some people were saying that the right has no critique of power, and to a degree that's true. But I mean, they have critiques of like libertarianism is kind of the only one.
Right. That's the
everything
only
else
game in
with
town.
on the right is just hierarchies, power. Yeah, do
Yeah,
all
give
that.
us more.
Yeah.
I would like more power, please.
What do you mean question it? Are you some kind of crazy communist? You know. But then there's this comment made me laugh. It says, the U.S. is in a pretty dark place at the moment, but there is a problem that exists at all times. To the extent to which it is possible to hoard obscene quantities of wealth, there will always be people who want to preserve that wealth and who will use the power of their wealth to attack the democratic processes that limit them. Conservatives defend the status quo in every era. That's the thing they're conserving.
Right. Yeah. Notice conservatives aren't conserving environmental resources, right? They're not conserving the health and well-being of their neighbors. They're very much doing the not that.
Mm-hmm.
would
Well,
rather that not
don't
be.
tell us what else you stole from Bosch, Bob. We don't want to hear about the horse porn. Got him.
The Dane, you and the horse. You
Anyway,
and Vosh's horse.
that was a fun aside.
That was a fun aside. I enjoyed it.
So we probably don't need to watch a whole bunch of this. I guess it's just, understand that when you see this Somali shit going around, it is very cynical to some degree. It has been kind of shoved into the discourse because they desperately want other things not in it.
Well, and I think her video also goes into how like this is already a solved. Like there was some fraud by some Somali people.
Yeah.
That happened years ago now, and that's already like gone through the courts at this point.
Yep.
So like it's not an ongoing concern.
The news clip I showed earlier from CNN, the lady was talking about Biden's DOJ. I think convicted something like 50 something out of 88 people that it prosecuted.
Yeah.
And once again, it was actually people who were benefiting in part of the scheme without realizing that it was a scheme that kind of dropped the dime on the scheme.
Right.
So that, yeah. Of course, the right's going to paint it out as like these evil, Somalis are coming to steal $1 billion or whatever. And it's like, man, wait till I tell you about these corporate motherfuckers and like Elon Musk and what he did for 4 months with Doge and stuff like that. Wait till you hear about that.
Quick question.
Oh, wait, these people are white? You don't care. I got you.
When's the last time the DOD passed an internal audit? Anyone know when that is? Because I don't think it's been this century.
Yeah. No.
I would be shocked to find out it was this century.
When you're raised to not question things through things like religion, it makes being critical difficult. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I get it.
Yeah. Well, we've talked before on this channel, on the Fatcast and stuff, about like the importance of language and why the religious right is so controlling about language. It is because it denies people the ability to escape their worldview because you literally don't have the language to do it.
Which you can apply this to anything. Apply it to speaking of children and schools and children learning things. They don't like children to learn have sex education. Even in some cases, like I can understand wanting to have the conversation if your kid's like in elementary school, maybe. I still think that it's generally better for kids to learn these things because of the very reason that if someone does harm them in some way, they understand that is harm, and they understand that they need to tell someone that they, what I mean, that kind of thing. And as time goes on, the more I start to think, I did not want to think that a lot of people on the right were like child harmers, but I'm starting to feel like maybe a lot of them are.
I look at it this way:
the grossest sense of the term.
How much of the right is completely okay with schools being shot up? Close to 100%. It doesn't impact how they vote, right?
Apparently not.
This is, and they're against education spending. Trump has frozen child care tax credits over this.
Yep.
We're not going to hear Republican outrage over that.
No, children are being harmed now because of this.
Right.
And almost certainly this is the kind of thing where they found a way to pocket some of this money, or all of it. I don't know. By the way, did you hear about the what they paid? You know how during the shutdown they paid military some money. You heard about how they did that?
Yeah, from their the dividend was paid from their housing budget. So they just
It was a fucking scam. It was this whole scheme, and like even whenever it seems like they're doing something, and this is just the Trump administration specifically. You know, I do know that in the past there have been Republicans who have done things that weren't completely selfish and scammy.
But it's been a minute.
It seems like this administration is completely incapable of it. And yeah, it's just so fucked up. Like, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not rah war, and I'm not like support the troops or whatever. Just like, but I am generally, if somebody is put their life and safety and on the line, they should not be out on the street. They should not have their pay taken from them.
Right.
You know, things like that. But nobody should.
Right.
Anyways.
So here's the thing. I want to build off of that.
Yeah.
I am rah support the troops, not the military, the troops. And to me, what that means is that we don't, I don't know, deploy them to needless conflicts. We don't take their money to advance them their own money and act like we did something good.
That's so fucking cynical. And God.
I'm for them having access to adequate health care and jobs after they leave the service. I'm for the troops because I want a fully funded Veterans Affairs Administration and VA hospitals. These are all things Republicans are against, by the way.
Yeah, Trump's first term, he literally had a shadow council running the VA, including Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah, right?
It's fucking crazy.
Fucking Ike Perlmutter.
You know, and it's like, it's not like you didn't hear about veterans benefits or the VA getting any better, which is historically just a shit show of an organization anyway. It didn't get any better under them for sure. And I'm willing to bet it got worse, and it's harder to access any kind of benefits or help or anything.
Yeah.
Because these rich fucks just, it blows my mind, man. Like I can't even put myself in the headspace of somebody who has more than he'll ever need, and then still wants to fuck over people who have nothing.
I can do that for you. It's solipsism. It's a worldview wherein you are the only person who matters. And they want what's yours. Never mind that you took it, right? Or you were given it. No billionaire is truly self-made. You don't get that obscenely rich that way, right? But they don't. To admit that to themselves is to admit the damage they've done or the incredible fortune they had to inherit that fortune.
Which goes against their internal narratives that they've pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and gotten themselves where they are.
Right.
That's why both Elon Musk and Trump, despite both of them being given multiple millions of dollars by their fathers,
right,
they
failed
both
upwards
have
their whole lives.
They have their own little narratives about how they just got a small loan from their dad or something like that. And
right, a small multi-million dollar loan.
they probably believe that too. They probably
do.
fucking at this point internalize that narrative.
I have neither of these people are smart enough to not say the quiet part out loud. I believe them wholeheartedly when they say that's how they see it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I think elsewise? They can't lie to save their souls.
Yeah. And then the fucking snobby elitist mentality comes along with it too, because these people are fucked up in the head. Their families have problems and shit like that, but they don't fucking they pretend it doesn't happen. Things don't get addressed abuse gets overlooked and swept under the rug, things like that. And you know, and you just have a bunch of super duper emotionally fucked up, stunted, warped, narcissistic fucking, you know, borderline, in some cases just sociopathic people. At least the ones that they have their hands on power right now.
Well, you look at what truly radicalized Elon towards the right. It was COVID restrictions. That's when he was already on the path to crazy town. He was already, by no stretch of the imagination, a reasonable human being. But that, like, yes, you're going to have to, you know, put either close your factory or put these safety requirements into place.
I think it was that, but I also think that it was kind of a confluence of things with him, because it was also I think he was realizing at that time, in that period, that the liberals and the left were not accepting him just because he was throwing some of his words and money at a few, you know, perceived progressive causes or whatever.
In that time, not long before that, was the diver thing.
Yep.
Where he was
that
calling
was the first time I was like, wait, whoa, what?
Whoa, hold on. What's wrong with you, dude?
I mean, I didn't pay a lot of attention to him before that, but that was
No.
like definitely a fucking what the hell, dude? That's really fucked up.
And then, like, you had during COVID, like, he said he was going to make all of these things to, like, help with, like, making ventilators and stuff, and none of that materialized.
The same exact thing. Well, I mean, didn't he send something or make something that he sent that was just like not what was needed, or was that am I mixing it up with the diver story?
Eventually, he paid a company, I believe. I'm doing this from memory, so forgive me if I am slightly wrong. But eventually, one of his companies acquired stuff that vaguely resembled respirators, but they were completely not what was needed.
Yeah, and so, you know, and then I think also there started to be at least one accusation come out about him at that time.
Yeah.
And then just also the fact that eventually, as the left in America started to actually exist,
right,
which was, you know, mid to late 2010s, really, I think you had more people becoming critical and curious about his actual origins and what is, you know, where his money's actually from. And so people started learning, oh wait, emerald mines, or whatever the fuck it is. And
his old man's emerald mine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the whole thing that he paid a lot of good money for and worked really, really well in the mid to late 2000s, I suppose, to wash his image as being the real life Tony Stark and all this stuff. You know, it worked on me when I wasn't really paying much attention. I assumed it was a real thing, you know, like, oh, he's going to make self-driving cars and blah, blah, blah. And little did I know that he, for I think 10 years in a row or so now, he has kicked the can down the road about the self-driving cars because he's too fucking stupid and prideful to admit that the way that he decided way back then that he was going to do these cars is just not the way to do it.
It's just not working. Yeah. Well, and he is not the only person in the engineering field to overcommit to the bit. My go-to is cold fusion, or mass produced fusion, or commercially viable fusion, however you want to refer to it.
Mm-hmm.
That has been 20 to 50 years away for the last 20 to 50 years. Like, it was when I was in college, we were 20 years away from cold fusion, and today we are 20 years away from cold fusion, right? We were 10 years away from self-driving cars 10 years ago, and today we are 10 years away from self-driving cars. It's something with engineers.
I just realized something. So yes, there's the cold fusion thing, there's the self-driving cars thing. This is stuff that was identified decades ago, you know, and by you know, forward-looking engineers, as well as just identified and recognized by the public generally, that these are things that these would be game changers. These would be, you know, holy shit, that's the future kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
What else is another one of those things that was like
AI.
that? AI.
Yeah.
And now they actually have seemingly, or they think that everybody's stupid enough to think that what they have is that same thing that we've been waiting for, right? The thing that all the movies were about and stuff like that. And it's not that at all. But
we're there's another court case against ChatGPT about someone driven insane by it. Amongst the handful of those that are now ongoing.
I would recommend anybody that's interested in learning more about this shit, watch, I think his name is Eddie Burback, is the YouTuber. I believe his name. He did a video. It's fucking brilliant. It's like an hour long. And he basically treated ChatGPT as, he's like, I'm not delusional, but I pretended that I was, and I committed to being delusional and to see where it would take me, kind of thing. And he started with the idea that he was like, I realized that when I was a baby, I was the smartest baby of 1996, and
we'll treat that as true. Yeah.
Yep. And I want to get back in touch with that version of myself. So he ended up, for weeks, he left everybody he knew. He disconnected from his family. This is all stuff that was ChatGPT was telling him to do because he felt paranoid about people wanting to stop him or whatever. And so he would just feed it a little bit of delusional, not even completely crazy, but like stuff that actually, unhealthy people might say.
Right.
And he would just follow its instructions. He was eating baby food for weeks. He was wrapping tinfoil around himself to sleep. It got a little nuts. And yeah, I mean,
if you want something with a little more academic rigor, Empire of AI by, I believe her name is
I want that?
Karen Cho, is a really good book on the history of OpenAI and the people involved in its founding, and the people who left OpenAI to go start other AI companies when Sam Altman engaged in various levels of rat fuckery. It's a very good book.
So I didn't know anything about Sam Altman until pretty recently, really. And now I know about Sam Altman.
I'm sorry.
And
Sam Altman would be better off if he didn't know about Sam Altman.
Jesus Christ. Did you see him on Kimmel? He's like,
yes.
He says he doesn't know how he would be a parent without ChatGPT. And it's like, dude, what? Do you really believe that, or is that just how far you're going to go to sell this shit right now?
Right, like there's no version of that makes him look good.
No. There's no version of this that makes him look good.
Clip of Sam Altman having a very strange reaction to an interviewer who's pretty friendly to big tech, and I'll explain in a second.
How can the company with 13 billion in revenues make 1.4 trillion of spend commitments? And you've heard the criticism,
First
Sam.
of all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. I just, enough.
So why does Altman seem so upset here? After all, this interviewer is just pointing out a basic fact that OpenAI has committed to spend over $1 trillion on AI infrastructure over the next 8 years, despite only bringing in around $13 billion a year in recurring revenue, less than 1% of what they're promising to spend. I'm no money genius, and I'm personally terrible at budgeting, but that doesn't seem great. Most of the supposed growth in the American economy in 2025 was caused by investment in AI. That's all part of a promise being made by the industry, led by Sam Altman.
Like there's two things. One of two things is going to happen. One, and what I believe, and I think Morgan agrees, is most likely, bubble bursts. I've seen something arguing there's actually a couple of bubbles within a bubble.
Yeah, it's layered.
Like NVIDIA is the big bubble, and then blah blah.
Right.
So those bursts, whatever, and then everybody gets fucked, and everybody's fucking, 401ks and shit like that get wiped out, and blah blah. Everybody gets fucked all over again, worse than the financial crisis of 2008.
Yeah.
Or some billionaires get more money,
and a bunch of jobs are destroyed.
Yep. And that's it. Yeah, the jobs get destroyed. People continue to fucking get harmed by ChatGPT shit, and there's no benefit to anybody except for maybe the billionaires if they're very, very lucky.
If they're very lucky. Well, and I think here is if there is a saving grace to this, it's that NVIDIA is an arms dealer, and NVIDIA is the biggest, most secure of these companies, and they will ultimately be fine. because what's going on here is you have companies like OpenAI,
Mhm.
Anthropic, Meta, etc., are borrowing money to buy NVIDIA's products, right? This is the gold rush analogy. We're the only ones who made money in the gold rush. We're the people selling the shovels. NVIDIA are the guys selling the shovels, right? They are going to take a hit when this collapses, but they aren't going to be in super debt.
No, because
Like-
they're so fucking enormously rich right now that they're actually. So there's a Hank Green video that I watched about this, where he shows this chart of how the company, different companies involved, and how the money's flowing, and it really is an entropic system. It seems like it's just the AI companies and then the server farms, and then NVIDIA at the center of it selling the chips. And it's like NVIDIA's even investing in some of these smaller AI companies too.
To prop them up, yeah.
Yeah, prop them. It's like, what? I mean, like that guy said, I'm not
something
fucking...
a lot of people missed during the Biden administration, because Biden was just kind of an administrator, right? His policy was very much just getting shit done in the background, not making a lot of fuss about
CHIPS
anything.
Act was a big deal.
The CHIPS Act, not only there, you had that, which was a big deal that funded a lot of this, right, with government money, but also under him, the government bailed out the Silicon Valley Bank, which was about to go under because they were leveraged multiple times, because they were borrowing money to lend out money.
Too big to fail.
And so we have already had this bubble come close to collapsing once.
And they just did a preemptive bailout, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Which, I mean, propped up the economy. Probably it bought us time. But now we have a different administration with different rules. Because at the same time, you also had a Biden administration that was more AI skeptical, was more interested in regulation.
Right. They weren't so quick to just because let's be real, the stuff that's happening now is almost certainly happening because palms have been very, very greased within the administration.
Yeah.
From the tech bros, they've come in and they've essentially found ways, through Kushner is almost certainly doing some back channel dealing on behalf of Trump and whatnot.
Well, all of these guys gave money to the Trump inaugural fund, right? They were all at his inauguration, front row seats, right? Like, Biden's reward for bailing them out was getting rat fucked because Biden said, well, that's going to come with regulation, because clearly your industry is having some issues if you're this over leveraged. Something needs to be addressed about that.
Well, I'm glad we kind of got to this point, because I actually have a video here that I don't know if you watched it. I recommended you should, but either way, let's check out a little bit of it, because this definitely relates.
Yes, I did watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, the Honorable Donald John Trump.
First of all, let's talk about how fucking psychotic it is to have a middle name John and not even be Jonathan. Just John. Fucking psycho shit. All right.
On November 5th, 2024, Donald Trump shocked the nation by securing the presidency to become the 47th president of the United States. This was off the back of polling institutions showing Kamala Harris up across the board. The most statistically accurate pollster in U.S. history, the Des Moines Register's Ann Selzer poll, had Kamala Harris up 47 to 44% in a deeply red Iowa. Combined with the antiquated law.
Look, I didn't mean it, man. I didn't mean it.
Big Fieldy, you're the exception that proves the rule.
Look, I'm just taking shots at Trump any chance I get, man. Sorry. I mean, I know it's really unnecessary to just come up with something that petty to do, because he's plenty to actually criticize him on. But I don't know. I thought it was funny, but I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, man. I'm sorry.
Logic that Donald Trump's platform was simply too extreme and something Americans would see as flamboyant promises from a man who, according to history, has no intention to deliver. Some examples of his 2024 platform are the following: seal the American border, end inflation, and make necessities affordable. And on number 11 of his Agenda 47 push, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. I want to focus on this in particular. This campaign promise sounds vague, but benign, favorable even. But there's something going on behind the scenes that is seldom discussed, a hidden architecture and plan that can only be visualized by murmurings of the past. In the spring of 2023, Donald Trump released a video detailing campaign plans to increase living standards in the United States.
Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard.
With it, he promised baby bonuses to increase birth rates, a beautification campaign to revitalize existing cities. Yet, biggest of all was a plan for brand new cities.
A contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development.
A technological utopia designed for the 21st century. Trump called them freedom cities, fully privately owned cities, controlled exclusively by the ones purchasing them, auctioned off from public lands in the American West.
So if you watch the stream on regularly enough, has there been any time in the recent past when we've talked about maybe somebody owning some different size amount of degree of land of a municipality or something that would be kind of like sort of like a royal of that land, almost a monarch or something?
Just a little bit of feudalism.
Yeah, and then that would be almost definitely would be some type of billionaire,
Yeah.
type of guy. Is there anybody that we've talked about that kind of is exactly what
Guy who can barely dress himself?
Yeah, the guy who got radicalized by watching a video of just pictures of Nazis compared to like homeless people and gay people, I guess, or something, and then decided, yeah, I'm going to be a Nazi now.
Which is why he can't dress himself, because if he had looked at that video of like Nazis and gay people, obviously the gay people can dress themselves.
Yet, this idea isn't exactly new. It's the culmination of decades-long economic policies and deregulation that elevated the rich into the most powerful aristocracy in U.S. history, one where monetary accumulation wasn't enough. And through the decades, there is one person who has been at the forefront of this push. His name is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is a billionaire and former CEO of PayPal, co-founder of Palantir, and original mega investor into Facebook. He is now the head of, or involved in, at least 5. While far from the richest in the world, he is among the most powerful. What separates Thiel is that he is among the largest, most influential donors to the Republican Party. He was the main voice.
Look at that. Just look at that. Like, Trump, when he gets around somebody that he really respects, either because they're an authoritarian or because they have a lot more money than him,
it's very handsy.
It's really cringe because he just becomes like a fucking, I don't know.
He's very touchy.
He's like, oh, I just want to hold your hand.
Yeah, he's a
Because
very
that's the hand that signs checks for me.
very handsy gentleman.
Urging Vance to run for Senate, and he broke campaign finance records for J.D. Vance's Ohio Senate campaign with a donation of $15 million during his primary. This was the largest single publicly disclosed political donation in American history. But what's most important to this story is Thiel's political views, and they are primarily informed by this guy.
A man who cannot dress
This
himself.
man is named Curtis Yarvin, originally an online blogger who has now
Fucking nerd. And not nerd in the cool way like every single one of you people here, but like nerd in like the way that's just like terminally nerdy, you know?
He makes me want to advocate to bring back bullying of nerds. just like, if you're this guy in the year of our Dark Lord of the Sith 2026, Someone needs to give this man a swirly, like on the regular, till he learns his lesson. Because Jesus fucking Christ, my guy, you are not well.
Yeah, Peter Thiel, I mean, it definitely looks like his skin is uncomfortable on his body.
Yeah.
Like his skin doesn't want to be there half the time.
So one thing I want to talk about before we, I think one thing with this video that I had is a critique that it treats as novel that is not, is this whole having wealthy business owners own huge tracts of land on which the people are subservient to them.
Sure.
This is just a modern retelling of plantations and company towns. There is nothing new here.
No. I mean, and I don't know. I can't speak for him, like how he's actually sees it, but I feel like the way he's presenting it is a way of, like, even if he does recognize that it's definitely just a new version of an old thing, it's like it should still be shocking that it's something that is even being, possible as being considered.
And that's fair, but I do think that the video doesn't touch on that, because I think it's important to recognize that part of the reason why within the conservative movement this has become something that's looked upon favorably is because it ties back to those things.
Yeah, because it tells certain people that they will have the ultimate privilege of owning other people's lives essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
They will have.
And not only he's exactly like that, because he's very much the Revenge of the Nerds nerd that raped a girl in the first movie.
Right.
He was the hero.
No, he was the protagonist.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm saying that to his mind, he was
To
the
his
hero.
mind,
He was the hero. And I think a lot of people in the 80s thought he was a hero too. It is just feudalism. It's techno-feudalism. I think, this guy's even called it that maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's the one refreshing thing about him. I would give him that. He doesn't tend to fucking, pussyfoot about the things that he's for. And in that way, it's like, well, I appreciate that, because, then we can laugh at you without having to break it down too much.
Right.
And also be kind of concerned, not because of you in particular, Curtis Yarvin, but because you happen to have somehow gotten the ear of people that have way more money than sense.
Yeah.
Become the core brainchild of the modern American right.
I mean, I think that there are two different ideas here, right? So one is like, there's this guy Curtis Yarvin.
Fucking JD Vance just casually dropping Curtis Yarvin. That right there is everything, man. That's fucking everything you need to know about this piece of shit, other than the fact that he was bankrolled by Peter Thiel.
Right.
And anything he says from there is just, and I feel like that comes off, even if you don't know those facts about him, I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, that people get a sense from JD Vance that he's a fucking fabrication of a person. I don't know.
Well, it just, watching this clip and watching him the week before Christmas at Mega Fest or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Does he look like someone who has like gained a bunch of weight and is just like not mentally, physically, or spiritually healthy?
Yes.
Like he, in this picture and like in this video, he resembles a human being. I don't know that he does anymore. I think he looks like a husk that's pumped up with water to make it look like there's a person in there. But like, is there though?
Yeah. In fact, I want to bring up here this this brilliant set of images from Vanity Fair. Just like, holy shit, this photographer did some magic here. And just by taking like photos in specific ways that just show these people, you just get the vibe of them. You know what I mean? Like, look at this guy. Look at this fucking guy.
That man is not well.
He's somehow it's like his head isn't even in the photo. It's just face.
It's just face. Yeah.
And going back to this, like he seems to have developed a sneer, right? Like a
Yeah, I think Fieldy has it. Seems like they need to thaw out the next Vance clone like way. I think we got it.
Oh, it's a bit too near. Yes. Good name. Right. He looks like look, I think we've all made this face before when we maybe trusted a fart we shouldn't have. Right. Like, you're out with the family or whatever. You've been, whatever. You've eaten some kind of messy food that day, and you're just like, you can let this out real quick. Oh no, that's the face.
The face of the damned.
Yep, that's the face of. Oh no, where's the bathroom?
About
some of these things.
Yarvin believes that America should be a techno-monarchy, a system exclusively ruled by tech oligarchs, where governance would happen at the corporate executive level, outside general democratic commons and represent.
Elon looks like a freak among those people, man.
Well, Elon has that Innsmouth look.
Look at him. He's just like he's not even mentally there. He's physically there, but he's not mentally there with everybody else right now.
Well, yes, because Elon can hear the call of the deep ones.
The K was hitting him pretty hard. he was in the K hole, guy. You gotta give him. Look at these people. Jesus Christ. There they all are.
And they're bad nerds. Like, they're bad at being nerds, right? Like, to be a nerd is to experience some level of joy. None of these people feel joy. Like, look at Jeff Bezos there. Like, he's smiling, but it is like there's a rictus grin.
He's performing joy. Right. It could be that he's actually genuinely happy because he's realizing he's about to, get away with a lot of shit. Like this moment right there for these people, they were all just thinking about how their ship has come in.
Right.
Like their day
because their ships have already come in because they're obscenely rich and obscenely well connected. The deep one. The deep ones threw him back, Bob. Is that what we're saying? Like, not send that one back to Massachusetts.
Jesus Christ.
Corporate executive level, outside general democratic commons and representation. The center of his belief system is that democracy was a mistake. He believes slavery was preferable to civil rights and holds the racist myth that white individuals possess higher IQs than others. Andy was present at the inaugural gala.
That myth is disproven by him being Curtis Yarvin.
Yeah, Curtis Yarvin existing disproves that.
It disproves that myth wholeheartedly. It's like the Riley Gaines thing where Riley Gaines disproves the myth that Riley Gaines propagates.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Yarvin's the same thing. White people are smarter. Curtis Yarvin, you're white. I'm sorry. You bring the rest of us down.
Well, I mean, it also just goes to show that is it the idea of literal just intelligence being the single marker for it's dumb. We have to live in a better world than that, where we take this. I actually saw a video of some short. I wish I would have grabbed it, but like a lady, it was about the Somali thing. Actually, this lady was saying that she said that Somali people, there are a lot of them are inbred. This is not necessarily true, obviously. It's just really racist shit. And then they have on average 67. Their IQ is 67%. Is what she said.
Did you say the percent?
Yes.
That's not how IQ works.
That's not how IQ is measured. And it's like this, it's a white woman, clearly thinks that she's just got their number. And it's like, well, that's not how you fucking measure IQ, you dumb bitch. You're disproving your whole point.
Like I've had some people, like well-meaning people who believe in white superiority in terms of intelligence, who are obsessed with IQ, and then will try and like glaze me by like guessing my IQ is so high. You don't know what my IQ is?
Sure.
I have no idea. I've never taken an IQ test. I don't care.
It literally means nothing to me.
It's a number on a paper. If it's above room temperature, I think that's a good thing. I don't fucking know.
I mean, it's like if the assumption being that there's more value to somebody with a higher IQ, when it's like there's certain people who have, developmental issues and stuff like that physically or whatever congenitally can't have a higher IQ, that are fucking way better people than any one of these people that were standing in that one image a minute ago.
Well, and I think when it comes to this like intelligence fetishization that happens in like, I don't want to say chud spaces, but chud spaces like the average white nerdy chud. It looks like this guy, yeah. Who is insecure about their intelligence. I know a lot of people who are smarter than me. All of them have problems. All of them have limitations to their knowledge. And they're very concerned about being the smartest in whatever it is and always feeling like they're the smartest. And it's just like, well, no, you're very smart, but like, you got to let it go. And you have to know your limitations. Otherwise you're wasting your intelligence by acting like you know everything instead of using your intelligence to learn new things rather than.
Well, that's why emotional
repeating
intelligence
Curtis
is
Yarvin.
Arguably more important, or at least very important to have in tandem with IQ, because having the self-awareness to know your limits, and that's an emotional intelligence characteristic, self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big deal. It's important, and like, yeah, it depends on what you value, right? Like, what do you value as being important to life? Because there are plenty of high IQ people, I'm sure many of them standing in that group picture a minute ago, who have a very difficult time having romantic relationships, or even just loving, like a family member or something like that, expressing that love. And it's like love creates bonds that can literally strengthen people and lift them up and succeed.
Speaking of like some of these alleged geniuses and their relationships with family, have you heard things about Sam Altman and his sister?
Oh no, what? No, really?
That might be Sunday's Fapcast.
Oh God. I mean, okay. I mean, he definitely seems, it is upsetting that a guy like that can start out in tech and have such a big, openly, well-known failure of a product, and then just like keep doing stuff. I don't know. And keep getting people to trust him with money and whatnot. So maybe we should talk about him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look, bro, I don't care if it's 420 or 69, bro. You're good with me, homie. What is your moral quotient? Fuck yeah. That's it. What is your moral quotient?
I also don't know that. I presume I'm immoral and evil. That's all I hear. So I'm going to go with that.
We should develop a scale for moral quotient.
Yeah.
Based on harm and benefit. And
I'm a degenerate tranny demon, so that's fine.
Okay. All right. Let's we're not going to watch this whole thing, but I just found it compelling, and we kind of ended up there in the conversation anyway of like, what is the ultimate goal of these people that are currently propping up the world economy, essentially, with this fucking pretty ballsy bet on AI, right? That the general public's going to swallow this shit, and yeah. That's all I got, though. Really, I mean, I got plenty of stuff to talk about, but
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm just getting tired. It's 1:15 here, and I've been having champagne. So,
well, real champagne for my real friends, and real pain for my sham friends. I got 45 minutes until the new year for me, so yeah, we'll go ahead and call it. But I just want to show one thing here.
Sure.
Real quick, and that is that racism and how insecure the right is. Like, they're so fucking insecure. It's basically the underlying thing behind all their shit. Look at this. They spent $400 million for a movie's climax to be slaughtering humans wholesale in some of the most gruesome ways possible. what really sucks is that there's no alternative to James Cameron you can support. There's no anti-Avatar movie franchise to go to instead. Just saw Avatar 3, and I think James Cameron is low-key evil. You expected to cheer on the 9-foot-tall blue cat aliens as they massacre the human colonists. It's just a movie, man. The left spend more money than you make in several lifetimes on these cultural productions. Get your head out of your ass. The arts and what they say are important.
Okay, Sephiroth.
You know, if this was just some crazy, you know, nobody with, you know, with a small account, I wouldn't care about this. But this got, you know, 1,400 likes.
I mean, how many of them are bots though? It is Twitter.
True, but not all of them are.
Not all of them, no.
And he a bot? Not the only person propagating this kind of idea. Now, never mind the fact that I think in the previous 2 films of this series, I think a lot more maybe of the fucking blue cat aliens get slaughtered.
Well, and I've only seen the first one, and I have no intention of seeing 2 or 3 because I've seen Dances with Wolves. I don't really need sequels. But blue cat aliens also kill a bunch of humans in that one. And the humans even have cool mechs. And I'm like programmed to like root for the mechs just because like I'm a robot girl. Like I love me some giant robots. But like, yeah, it's a blue cat person killing human movie series. I don't know what to tell you, man.
So okay, I didn't know who Ken Loach was, but yeah, it seems like he's, you know, makes some important films, but at the same time, I have to push back on the idea that James Cameron is a loser, because I mean, this doesn't say anything about him as a person or the quality of his films in my opinion or anything like that, but like kind of almost like definitionally he is not a loser in Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't know that I would call you've said a lot of interesting things in the chat that I don't disagree with. This one is one that I'm just like, do I think Cameron is overrated as a director? Sure. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Each Avatar sequel, he is. Yeah.
Say again.
With each Avatar sequel, he is becoming more and more overrated. Yes.
Yeah.
When his output, when the last thing he put out was Titanic, and then maybe the first Avatar movie, it was like, okay, he could still.
Yeah. But you know, I don't think he's a loser.
Nah.
I think he's high on his own supply,
for sure.
But he's hardly the only person in Hollywood to the Navy ain't gonna fuck you, bro.
No, I gotta get some of that ponytail up in me, dog. You know
God damn it.
Is he an environmentalist, really? Or does
he is an environmentalist. At least he was.
More important, he made Terminator 2, bro. Come on now. Come on.
See, I think I'm like the one person who likes Terminator more than Terminator 2, but I also didn't see those movies till I was an adult. So
that'll do it. So I saw
yeah, Disney shit, we know.
Wait, we're not.
You're not going to get me to defend Disney.
Well, I mean, like, instead of just saying a thing like this, you know, tell me what you mean by this. What is the point of saying this? That's what I want to know. Don't be a coward with what you're suggesting. Say what you mean, man.
Yeah. Because
okay, you can say whatever words you want to, man. But you're just showing up saying random shit. You're gonna get kicked out if you just keep saying random shit. Then you're not actually engaging with things. Anyway.
Okay, you don't have to like James Cameron. That's fine. Your opinion is noted. Moving on.
Also. All right, enough of that. Here's this music. Mine.
Bye-bye.
Check it out. The pinned comment in chat is a link to download the album. I do need to finish mastering 1 or 2 tracks that aren't in there yet, but I will add them.
They will be there.
So I think that's how that works.
And if you're not here on Sunday, you'll be square.
That's true. Sure. But I think I'll probably be here Friday too, maybe. I don't know.
Cool.
So, like I was saying at the beginning, look for the content to be shifting a little bit as far as maybe where I'm posting and whatnot. We're still going to do the Fapcast. That's still going to happen.
Yep.
The Shillcast, as far as I know, I'm basically not going to be taking the initiative to make sure it gets rolling every week. I'm going to do it when I can, as much as I can, but I've been making it a priority for all this time, and I'm going to now hopefully hope other people do that as well. And we'll see what happens. Maybe the Shillcast continues on like every Wednesday. Maybe it doesn't go every week. Who knows? I don't think it's necessary anymore to go every week like it used to be, but it's still fun.
Yeah, y'all seem to have a good time. I'm always like, the Shillcast is always exactly when I have a meeting or exactly when I have like a project I need to work on at work. We're just like, fuck.
We do that just for you on purpose.
I know you do. It's because you hate me. It's fine. I understand. I'm a catty bitch, so.
Yeah, me too. So, well, I guess on that note, I hope everybody's having a happy New Year so far.
Have a happy New Year, or if you're getting to New Year, have a happy New Year's Eve. For those who still aren't in 2026, which seems about the same so far. Except Zoran Mandani is mayor, so that's cool.
That's true. Yeah, if you live in New York, can I come stay there with you?
Can we take your mayor?
And breathe the air, the Mamdani air.
I wouldn't want to breathe the New York air yet.
And also, once again, our hearts are heavy and go out to Erica Kirk. We know that she's really suffering. Let's look and see what she's up to right now. Poor thing. I don't know what stage of grief that is, but damn.
It's the grift stage.
Yeah, the grift.
And you can see her standing on it a few times that weekend.
What is this project? I have no idea, man. I don't even know.
Which project?
What are you talking about? On that note, I'm gonna I guess play some music on the way out. I might let, I don't know, all of it play.
Maybe that funky music. Yeah, just hit play on the record and let it ride.
Well, because the thing is like people tend to stick around. I've noticed.
Yeah.
It's weird. I haven't asked why, but like people tend to stick around whenever I play some music at the end of the stream. The numbers don't go down as much as I would have thought. So maybe that means people are enjoying it, or I don't know, even if you're just making fun of it or something. I'm cool with that. You're having an experience, man.
You're experiencing.
That's what I really want.
So to answer a question, the modern audience is the name of Dane's band and possibly the name of an upcoming YouTube channel, whether this one rebranded or a fresh one. More details to come. So despite not being Sunday, but it is the new year, so I have to let this out for the first because it is the new year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah,
Praise Bill.
Please,
and
if
free
you're
Palestine.
Tonight, I don't know why you would be out and watching this, but if you are for some reason, be safe. Don't drive intoxicated.
Drive safe tonight if you're driving. If you've had something to drink, get an Uber. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family.
Take care of your lovers and your haters as well. No, don't take care of your haters. Fuck them. Yeah. Give me just a second. I'm gonna play a bit of a video before I can finish this damn thing. So
sure.
Yeah. But Morgan, thank you for being on.
Of course, happy to show up.
Here is this, or the rest of this rather.
Pending the UN General Assembly. The UN's own working group on arbitrary detention said last year that there was no legal basis for Khan's imprisonment. They called it arbitrary. They called it a violation of international law. What is your response to those UN experts? While you're here in New York for the UN, what do you say to them?
Well, I think they have an opinion with which I disagree.
Their opinion is that you're breaking the law. On the genocide question, it's funny that he kind of patronizingly says, these genocide scholars, they didn't give you the definition. And you rightly said, what's the definition? And he said, forcibly destroying a whole population. That is not the definition of genocide.
Donald Trump is the son of an immigrant, the grandson of an immigrant, and married to an immigrant. In fact, 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants, proving yet again that immigrants will do the jobs that even Americans are not willing to do.
The billionaires spent a ton of money to stop Zoran Mamdani. And tonight is not just a defeat for Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa, it's a defeat for all the billionaires who put all that money down, and the 34-year-old socialist beat them all. Caroline Levitt called him Zamdani. Cuomo called him Mandami. Well, guys, you're gonna have to learn his fucking name now.
Days like nothing's really changed. Play the roles that we've always played. Read the lines written on the page. This movie's gotten strange, heavy-handed, hollow and in not a man to be admired. No. But a cautionary tale of inevitable betrayal. There's quite a bit to be learned from this story. And you never know. It might just save your life. Go. about us.
Me, my new legacy character. If they're a legacy character, that would be you.
Oh my god, diversity.
Defender of the most vicious and depraved. There's nothing left of you to save. Commanded by algorithmic fantasy. That hate is always way to release. The ending, I bury you before you hit the grave. 'Cause the maggots already ate your fucking brain. You're just paper skin and
We are all exactly the same. We must hold hands and not fucking turn.
Behold the serpent, beware the oldest lie. Begrudge our brother for existing on the wrong side of an imaginary line. Between two worlds, belligerent in the name of the tribe, I beseech you to believe in more than the light reflecting off of these shells we occupy. Because the truth is, we're all the same. Beneath the surface, we all wanna find our way and find our purpose. We're all the same. We carry our own burdens. We all have a cross to bear, and we hope the wait is worth it. Believer of the line, be gone from me and mine. Be ready to fight and bleed. Become the truth that they despise. They only seek to divide with bedlam that besets us on all sides. Yeah, they say, beware the beast your horde. Best believe they'll besiege your lands and come for you and yours. That's a lie. We're all the same. Beneath the surface, we all wanna find our way and find our purpose. We're all the same. We carry our own burdens. We all have a cross to bear, and we hope the wait is worth it. Y'all have a cross to bear, but only cowards wanna burn it. Y'all have a cross to bear, but only cowards wanna burn it. We all have a cross to bear, but only cowards wanna burn it. Cowards wanna burn it. The truth is, yeah, we're all the same. Beneath the surface, we love, we sing, we dream, we try.
everybody around us and realizing how different we all from one another. We are fucking different colors. We worship different gods. We wear different clothes. We express ourselves differently. We listen to different kinds of music. I mean, it's fucking crazy, right? We are all exactly the same. We must hold hands and not fucking turn.
History has shown time and time again. Don't mistake a fascist for a friend. You're just like Golders from locked in a cell, shot in the head, or given by a man that we call friend. Here's the thing, man. Fascists ain't got no fucking friends. Performative and insecure. The villains are clutching their pearls. Is this really the way of the world? The road to hell is littered with poisonous traditions, mindless superstitions. Can we at least try to consider the effect? Ooh, consider the effect. No better angel from within, no gods to condemn or forgive, or a savior to wash away our sins. It's only you and me, my friend, the cycles that we exist within, the effects of choice and consequence. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. No, nobody gives a shit about your intentions. 'Cause really it makes no difference whether it's malice or ignorance when it's you on the other end. No. Do you ever consider the effect? There's no better angels from within, no gods to condemn or forgive, or a savior to wash away our sins. It's only you and me, my friend, the cycles that we exist within, the effects of choice and consequence. Nobody gives a shit about your intentions. Do you ever consider the effect? I'm underwhelmed by the overtures, performative and insecure. The villains are clutching their pearls. Is this really the way of the world? The victims are falling their sword. Is this really the way of the world? So far beyond magical thinking. Do you ever consider the effect? The road to hell is paved with the corpses of the indifferent. They never considered the effect. And that concludes our existence.